I'm Nate Putterbaugh, their sports update. The first round of the NHL draft was last night with the 14th overall pick. The Blue Jackets selected Boston College forward Oscar Hemming. The draft continues today. The Blue Jackets have 6 more picks beginning in the third round. The Cincinnati Reds beat the Pirates last night 6-4 on the back of a 2-run shot from Noelvi Marte in the 8th inning. They square off again today at 4:05. Catch the action right here on The Fan. The Guardians fell at home last night to the Seattle Mariners 3-1. The Guardians have now lost 4 of their last 5. They try to get back on track tonight at 7:10. Late last night at the World Cup, Egypt beat Iran 1-0 to advance past the group stage for the first time, and Belgium blew out New Zealand 5-1. Busy day at the World Cup today. Croatia faces Ghana, and Panama squares off with England at 5. Colombia and Portugal and Congo and Uzbekistan face off at 7:30, and Algeria and Austria, along with Jordan and Argentina in the nightcap. Breaking sports news and what happens to the Fan, Ohio Sports Destination.
The Fan is live and local with Fan Sports Saturday. The Fan Sports Day of the Week. Oh, this is some clever branding. Here's your host. Place name here.
And that name you will place is Tito, Jeff Fedoff. Tim May to my right. Nate, your left. Your left, you're watching. Whatever Nate's last name is today.
We're moving left to right on your radio dial.
Are we Pooterball today, Nate? I didn't listen to the Sports Center
I don't know, I was
update.
going to think like Johnson maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Tim, you didn't know that. There was a time we had Nate got criticized in the YouTube chat
For not correctly pronouncing my own name.
Right. Somebody in the chat said, "Yeah, he doesn't even say his name right. His own name."
That's an astute listener. Those are the ones you want to cultivate.
You mispronounced jerk. Yes, but that was a listener that pointed that out, though, that Nate did not pronounce his own name correctly. We got a big show lined up for you today, folks. We're going to have I'm always weird with you, Tim, because your vocabulary is much larger. No, the last time we were together, you threw some kind of French word on me, and I challenged you on it. And you were right, but I'm saying I got to be careful what I say because I don't want to sound stupid.
Parlez-vous français?
That's not what you said. You said something else. But okay, we have a bevy.
No, I asked you, do you speak French?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I speak. No, I don't speak French.
Okay.
All I know is je ne sais pas. But
see,
we
took French in the 4th grade in Demopolis, Alabama. You know why?
Why?
Because Demopolis was one of those land grant kind of deals that the United States government gave French settlers who came over because of the aid the French gave to the United States. By the way, coming up on the 250th anniversary for the United States of America.
Right. And
they was settled by these French who thought they could grow grapes, wine grapes in that vicinity because there's a real high underneath the ground, some big time limestone deposits and stuff. And I think it went over well for a while, but then it kind of petered out in terms of being wine country.
My first 2 years of middle school, I went to a alternative middle school, which was like it was more arts based, but it was like a little smarter, I guess I would say, school. And in 6th and 7th grade, we had to take foreign language.
Yeah.
I took Spanish 1 in the 6th grade, Spanish 2 in the 7th grade. Then I went to another school for the 8th grade that wasn't as smart. Yeah. And all they offered was Spanish 1, French 1, German 1. I took Spanish 1. Yeah. I'd already taken it. I'd already taken Spanish 2.
So you breezed.
Well, I got a B in it. But anyway, I'm not that smart.
Well, it's funny. I took Spanish 2 years in high school, and then I took it, 3/4 at Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I still, taco, burrito, and enchilada are my big word. Now, I can understand Spanish to a certain extent, like talking to Pato Award, sometimes.
Right.
And Alex Pillow, they would speak Spanish, but I can't remember the words, man. It's just, it was always taxing them. I should be fluent in Spanish.
I got months, numbers, and days of the week, kind of in my brain there. But other than that, though, it's hard. Yeah, other than that. But we have
Febrero.
We either have, you want to say we have a bevy of guests or a gaggle of guests?
Oh, well, we got 4 guests I think are pretty, in my opinion, pretty good. Tony Gerdeman coming on at 10:30 to talk about at least Caden Moss, that big commitment Ohio State got last night on the offensive line, go down to the middle, the smack dab middle of Mississippi, and get one of the top offensive line prospects in the country, and how that adds into the guys they've already got. They've got 6 offensive linemen committed to the 2027 class. It's high quality, brother. And then we got Aaron Portzeline to come on because Aaron kind of came down on the CBJ, Columbus Blue Jackets, late last night. Wrote a story about it, just about what's really going on. How can you hang on to the Norris Trophy winner? The guy who's been a heart and soul to a certain extent of your team for the last couple of years. We're talking about Zach Werenski and in the draft. What are you really trying to get done? They don't even have a second round draft pick, obviously.
Right.
But just interesting because nobody covers the Blue Jackets like Aaron Portzeline. Let's put it that way. And then we got Dylan Davis coming on. A good friend of mine, play golf with a lot. He for DellGazette.com. I mean, he covers Ohio State. He does a lot of other things too. But we're just going to talk about developments, like the Ross Bjork press conference, et cetera, which I totally enjoyed. Yeah, you didn't get a lot of big answers to some questions because some of them can't be answered until Congress acts, and some of those things. But just talking about the Woody Hayes renovation expansion and the Ohio Stadium renovation, which is ongoing every year. They're doing something.
Yes.
And trying to at least keep it modern, or as modern as they can keep it, as opposed to just tearing it down, which you can't really do without, major permission. And then, of course, your buddy John Gerber coming on to talk about wagering on golf tournaments. By the way, the Travelers is one interesting wager in my opinion, but also the upcoming Senior Open. By the way, whatever happened to you caddying for him in the Senior Open? What happened to that?
Well, here's what happened. Gerb decided not to try to qualify.
Gotcha.
He didn't think he'd be able to. But it was he and Ryan
You can't
Baker.
win it if you're not in it.
That's fair. Gerb decided that even if he did make it, he wasn't going to ask me to caddy because, and rightfully so, he was worried that probably halfway through the first round, he'd have to take his own bag because I'd be too tired and wouldn't do it.
Like in Tin Cup.
Right. And so I asked him, I asked him to check into the fact, is it okay if you're a caddy, if you can have a pull card out there? I'm not going to drive around, but could I have a pull card? I would think at any senior event, if you've got an elderly caddy like myself, they would allow you to have, I'll pay the $2.50 or whatever, $2.50 to rent it, but I would think I should be able to do that, right? It's not a cart. I'm not getting some kind of big advantage in that way. It's like,
elderly caddy, as there will be people older actually golfing.
I know. You're right. That's fair. That's fair.
So in the 86, when they played the Senior Open there at Sauda, one of the many stories I got to do was one with Charlie Sifford. Mm-hmm. And he played his practice. I went out and just rode with him for a practice round in a cart, and he's sitting there. Charlie Sifford was larger than life. I don't know if you're an African-American dude, made his own way and stuff. But the whole time we're riding around in a cart. It's when people think about golf, the average person, they think about this picture. Right. Riding around in a golf cart, smoking a big cigar. And that's what Charlie Sifford was doing. He'd get out and crack these shots right down the middle, man. And what a cool guy to get to know.
Really cool. That's going to be at Soda Country Club coming up, starting out, Mondays when the practice rounds will start, but then next weekend.
It's going to be hot.
It's going to be hot.
Just like it was last time they were here. Those poor seniors were just, I'm 72. I know what they're feeling like, but, there probably isn't anybody over 70 in the field.
I don't think there probably is, but.
But, I mean, remember how they were sweating?
Oh, yeah. It was crazy.
The last time? Oh, my God.
So he said, Tony Gerdeman on at 10:30, Porty at 11 o'clock, Dylan Davis 11:30, Gerber at 12:30. Reds beat the Pirates last night and Paul Skeens 6-4. Guardians fell to the Mariners 3-1. Today the Reds are playing the Pirates at 4:05 p.m. in Pittsburgh, and we got Seattle and Cleveland playing 7-10 in Cleveland on that one. We'll talk NHL draft with Porty. CBJ did take Oscar Hemming in the first round last night, left wing. 17-year-old going into a sophomore year I saw at college. I got to talk to Porty about that. Rounds 2 through 7 are tonight. World Cup. Are you soccer, Tim May? Are you getting into this at all or not?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm watching more World Cup than I ever have in my life.
Yeah, I remember. I've watched the World Cup. I don't watch every game like I try to watch every episode either live or taped of the Tour de France, which I find fascinating.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I don't care if they got motors in their bikes. I don't care what they've got in their veins. You know what I mean? I just, I totally and always enjoyed the Tour de France, but I like the way I say France. Tour de France. But I do like
the Southern accent.
I do like watching high level, big time soccer with something on the line. Like that. I always like watching stuff when sporting events when something is on the line. I don't care what sporting event it is, but yeah, I was watching some of Who was on early last night?
Yeah, last night you had Spain and Uruguay.
Yeah, Spain and Uruguay.
Uruguay.
Yeah, Montevideo.
Yes.
You know, this in my senior year in high school, my girlfriend's family hosted a guy, exchange student from Uruguay. And so I got to know a lot about Uruguay, but I was always worried that he was moving in on my girlfriend, you know, because he was living with them and stuff. Gonzalo. His name was Gonzalo. His name was Gonzalo Rodriguez. Gonzalo, if you hear me, I'm still worried about you.
I think, Tim, that I'm just glad it was an apostrophe S and not just an S. Because I was worried where it was going. My girlfriends. Yeah. And then he said family. That's clear enough for him. If he had multiple girlfriends at the same time. That
girlfriend went on to go to Baylor and find the man of her dreams, you know.
Oh, what could have been, Tim?
Oh, yeah. I could have owned furniture stores in Lufkin.
There you go.
Instead, I moved to Columbus.
And now you're here with me.
There you go. Me and Tito.
Coming up next, another door slams shut on Brendan Sorsby. We'll do that next. This is Fan Sports Saturday on the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Your plate is full every morning. Thanks to the $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. Freshly brewed coffee, a hearty breakfast sandwich with a freshly cracked egg, and a daily baked donut. All of that for just $6. Yeah, that is a full plate for sure, but it's one less thing on your plate to worry about. So enjoy it to its fullest. The $6 Tim's Trio, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons, at participating U.S. restaurants.
At ADP, we know you want your landscape business to succeed, but we don't know anything about landscaping. ADP only knows how to handle the business of your small business. So if ADP focuses on the payroll and the HR, while you focus on the land and the scaping, success should follow. Just don't expect us to know all about Kentucky bluegrass, zero-turn cutting, or what to do with a woodchuck. That's for you to figure out. Let ADP help your small business focus on the part of the business you're good at. ADP for small business.
Time for sun and savings at Great Lakes Hyundai. Right now, get a new 2060 Elantra SE for $59 per month for a 2-year lease. Just $59 a month for the drive into summer sale. This month only. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Dublin or Columbus or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit $39.95 down plus tax title first month payment. 7,500 miles per year and 7.6.
Everybody thinks they're a great driver. Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you the chance to prove it. Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's iconic tracks right here in Grandview. Race your friends, join a league, or bring the office out for an unforgettable corporate event. And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great food and drinks here or next door at Agave and Rye. Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who's got what it takes. Book your race today at outlawsimracing.com.
Get an Eco.
Hey, Aaron, happy Father's Day month.
You know what, Jerry? I grew up with a single mom, so it's always been important to me to be the best dad I could be.
You install air conditioners in people's homes, Aaron. That literally makes you the cool dad. Get it?
Get an Eco.
Did you just call a guy with an HVAC company a cool dad? That really is a dad joke.
Get an Eco.
A cool dad like you can install a new air conditioner that makes the whole family cool.
Well, a really cool dad would repair the air conditioner they have.
And leave more money for Father's Day presents.
With our AC Repair Buyback program, we'll even credit you any money you spend on the repairs against the purchase of a new system, if you change your mind and replace it.
Get an Eco.
Hypothetically, Aaron, what does a guy like yourself look for in a necktie?
I don't wear ties, Jerry, and I'm certainly not your dad.
Get an Eco.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and cool dad HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible. But Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, and a member FDIC.
Every time you pull onto a job site, your name pulls in with you. That's why the pros trust Bobcat equipment. Buy the machine you're proud to run, backed by the crew that's been serving the industry since 1975. That's 50 years of showing up, long after you receive the keys. Bobcat Enterprises is here for you with 9 locations serving Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. On every job, you deserve a team that stands behind you. Visit bobcatent.com to learn more.
Join T-Bone and Tyvis mornings on The Fan for football, food, and fun, featuring T-Bone.
Now, when you were talking about the football stuff, I was listening, but when you said Waffle House, I leaned forward in my chair.
And national champ Tyvis Powell.
I was staring myself in the mirror for a good 10 minutes today looking at it.
Where they solve all the world's complex problems.
We're not putting the toothpaste back in the toothpaste container.
Sponsored by Capital Ford of Columbus.
Football, food, and fun with T-Bone and Tyvis. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on The Fan.
Hello, I'm Shep.
And I'm Mark.
We're the friendly board-certified entomologists from Rose Pest Solutions.
Let's tackle some spider myths.
I've got one. Spiders will sneak up and bite you at night.
That's a myth. Spiders are not interested in having you as a midnight snack. Okay, I've got one. You swallow spiders while you're sleeping.
Myth. What spider would enter the snore hole of death? But here's a fact. Spiders can be hard to control.
So call the pros from Rose.
Call Rose Pest Solutions today.
800-966-ROSE.
Rothman and Ice.
I can get things done. Go to the store, clean the house, whatever you got to do.
Play golf. Does that count as getting things done?
No.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We saw some rain this morning, and it will return later this afternoon with a little bit of a break for some sunshine. It will be humid today, and it will continue into the later parts of this week. Rain chances return late tonight with some heavier rain in some of our southern counties, but that leads into a warm Sunday tomorrow with isolated showers throughout the afternoon. I'm your 10 Weather Impact meteorologist, Lily Aldrich, with 97.1 The Fan.
Bo Bishop is a media legend. We have no idea where the other guys came from. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean we shut up. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Fan Sports Saturday. Tito and Tim May with you. Nate is over there right now as well. There, Nate, I just did that for you.
Pooter ball.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Pooter ball.
Yes. Brendan Sorsby. I hope at some point we're done talking about him, but I decided to add it in here today just because the CFL said that they will not allow him, not that it was going to happen anyway, but allow him to join any of its teams in the immediate future because of all the gambling stuff that went on, obviously, with Sorsby. And they're already 4 weeks. I think this is their 4th week of CFL season they're playing. I think they play like 18, 19, some kind of number of games, 20 games. Anyway, what the CFL statement said, upholding integrity of the league and ensuring fair competition are paramount to the CFL. The allegations involving Brendan Sorsby are serious and concerning. At this time, the CFL will not register a contract for him, and no team will be permitted to add him to its negotiation list. The NFL.
You know what Hayden Fry would have said about that?
What?
What a surprise.
The NFL, Tim, suspended Sorsby without suspending him.
No, they just said you can't be part of our group. I mean, I think they want to see more proof of more proof is time between him entering rehab. Is that the right term?
There you go. Yeah.
To maybe giving him a shot, but then I think his attorney threatened. If threat's the right word, said they were going to go maybe to the NFLPA and stuff. But see, you can't be part of the NFLPA
right
until you're a player in the National Football League.
That's right.
And as soon as you're not a player in the National Football League, you're no longer a member of the NFLPA, even though you will, if you've played long enough, you'll get your pension and all that stuff. But, the bottom line is, my goodness, I mean, this wasn't a mistake.
Right.
This was a mistake lifestyle, for several years. And to think that, like I talked about on my podcast, we talked about it on the radio, those things, known gamblers who have had problems can look you straight in the eye and tell you they're not gambling anymore, sure. And they just put a bet down. Art Schleister, bless his heart, Art Schleister was the king of that, about telling you everything was all good now, and then next thing you know, you find out he's being picked up again for one reason or another, and you always wish he could get the help that would gotten him out of that, but I don't think it ever did, And so, he's had a tough life, especially since getting out of prison. But the bottom line with Sorsby is, you need to, I don't even know how you prove you're not doing it. The Texas Tech was going to put stuff on his phone and on his personal computer. Dude, you can get another computer.
Borrow a friend's phone.
Yes, exactly. So you can have a surrogate,
Yeah. Which is how he did it anyway, because he was under 21 when he was gambling anyway.
Right.
And so, he had other people that were helping him out with it.
And it wasn't like he came forward and admitted to it until he was under investigation. And then he, did a mea culpa.
Right.
But, the president, was it the president or the athletic director of Texas Tech during that press conference on television that they put up on social media, where he said, you looked me square in the eye and said, and I believe it, and I'm just going, dude, that's what gamblers.
That's what Sleestra called him and said, hey, I got this thing I want you to help me out with.
Gamblers will look you square in the eye and tell you anything you want to know. You ever watch the World Series of Poker?
Oh, yeah.
They're always looking each other square in the eye.
What I thought was interesting about it, though, Tim, was that, so remember when all the Terrell Pryor stuff went down?
Yeah.
And the NFL allowed him into the supplemental draft, but they suspended him to start off.
They also suspended Tressel, remember?
Tressel as well, that's correct,
It was going to be the press box, Colts, right? Guy watching whether flags are legit or not, or and for review, and they didn't let him do that.
And so
Indianapolis Colts, I think.
Yeah, the Colts. Yeah, so they let Pryor into the NFL, but said you're suspended to start. Was it 5 games? I think it was
something like that.
Yeah, 5 to 8 games, somewhere in that range. Anyway, and in this case, so they didn't even do that.
But that wasn't even gambling. That was
not gambling. You're right. That was doing things
that was selling trinkets for tattoos.
It was something you could do when you're a professional. Cart brought this the other days. That was the big difference. Is that the things that those guys got busted, like things that Terrell Pryor, the things with Chris Carter.
Right.
With him.
Taking money from agents.
Right. He got a supplemental draft too. And so it would in that case right there, it was so they let him in because they were doing things you could do as a pro, whereas Sorsby, what he did, he could not do as a pro. But this is the first time I can remember.
You can't do as anything.
Right. Yeah. But this is the first time that I remember the NFL saying no to a supplemental draft when somebody wanted in. Yeah. I can't think of another time when
I can't either.
When a player said, applied for supplemental draft, and the NFL said, nope, we're not doing one this year. But I can't remember that ever happening before.
The most taboo thing in sport is gambling.
Sure.
Especially on your own team.
Yeah.
Pete Rose,
Right.
May he rest in peace. Pete Rose could never really come to grips with that idea, and then he denied it forever,
right.
for almost forever. But the bottom line is, no, you just that's it in the locker rooms in the NFL. It's up on the board, it's up on the wall about things like that. I know in their workout rooms, their locker rooms at the stadium, et cetera. And so it's pretty straightforward.
I can tell you a time the NFL denied a supplemental draft.
When?
Maurice Claret.
Well, that's exactly right. But it was another example. But it's one that they would use. Maurice Claret applied for the supplemental draft literally after his second year out of high school. Remember, he played Ohio State.
Yep, you're right.
Then he got suspended.
You're right.
But
he was challenging the rule.
The NFL has had that rule. Has had that rule for a long time now about you have to be at least 3 years out of high school, and before that it was 4.
Right.
And then they changed it. Bernie Kosar helped change that because he graduated
early.
Yeah. And but the bottom line is, but he was at Miami for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Kosar. Bernie Kosar was. But the bottom line is with Maurice, and Maurice finally got drafted the next year. Remember, by the Denver Broncos.
I think it was third or fifth.
I think he was the last player taken in the 3rd round.
Last player taken in the 3rd round.
He was one of those supplemental picks at the end of the 3rd round.
The extra picks that they get.
Yeah. And see, by then, he had lost. The whole argument always is you're going to lose your edge if you're not in football 24/7. And probably Maurice lost his edge. I mean, Maurice Claret, as a freshman, was almost as good as you've ever seen in terms of, was he the fastest guy around? No. But could he make people miss and score touchdowns?
Yeah.
Yes. And, and he had a tough time after that, but as we all know, he righted himself extremely well in the last many years.
There was something I always said about Maurice Claret, and I may be completely an idiot when I say it this way, and Nate, you feel free to tell me if I am on this one. But one of the things I always thought about Clarett was he was one of those rare backs that always fell forward.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
Carlos Snow, same guy.
He didn't get pushed back. When you saw Clarett get tackled, usually he was going to go forward still.
He found a crease somewhere and fell forward. Carlos Snow was the same guy. And it blew my mind when, and no offense, John Cooper, if you're listening, but it blew my mind when they would take Carlos Snow out down at the goal line.
Right.
Which is where that was his bailiwick, you know?
Yeah.
But the bottom line is back to. I read that whole Clarett case again the other day. The way it was, the way it went down. Because I think at first he did get like Sorsby, he did get some kind of injunction. But then the appellate court looked at it and said no, and they cited all these reasons why, including the NFL's right to make a rule like that and enforce it.
Right.
And see, like we just talked about. The way the NFL did the thing with Coach Tressel and with Terrell Pryor, it was them sort of giving credence to what the NCAA had done.
Yeah.
As well-founded or not as it was. And it's kind of the same thing here, except this is gambling. Yeah. We're not talking about taking, trading gold pants for tattoos.
Trade something you own. Yeah, right. This is with Sorsby too, Tim. It
wasn't just as simple as gold pants for tattoos. There were other things involved. But go ahead.
But Sorsby though, it's like in one, you worry about the mentioned Clarett thing. If Sorsby loses an edge kind of thing, if he's away from football, now you can always go back to Texas Tech and just be on on the practice with the team and whatnot. You'll be on the scout team, whatever. He could go play NAIA right now if he wanted to.
Right.
And then there was
anyway.
Yeah, right. And then the CFL thing, that was something that could have happened if the CFL hadn't done this. But the Sorsby thing also, though, it's now you see I lost what I was going to say there, Tim.
Well, no, the Sorsby thing is interesting only because, even with Art Schleister, when he had his problems, he still got to go back and try to play.
Sure, right. He did
a couple times.
Yeah, he did.
He kept having his problems.
It'd just be nice if there was some adult in Brendan Sorsby's life to tell him, dude, sometimes in life you just have to take VL.
But here's the thing. When you hire a lawyer, you're hiring an advocate. You're not hiring somebody.
Yeah.
You're not hiring a counselor. Yeah. You're hiring an advocate. And they're going to argue their case one way or the other. But I think they're pretty much given up on it.
I think so, too. Yeah. All right, coming in 2 minutes, Tony Gerdeman's going to join us here. The Ohio State Buckeyes picked up a big recruit. He's going to tell us all about it next. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Got a craving for scratch-made food, ice-cold 29-degree beer in every game on wall-to-wall TVs? Head to Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge. Great views, killer eats, colder beer, Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Rosati Windows, the best buying experience in the business.
People talk about my strong work ethic, and I believe that came from my grandfather. When I was 7 years old, I used to stand on a Pepsi carton running a cash register in Grandpa's grocery store. I saw that my grandfather lived every day believing that customers were number one. They had to be satisfied or he wasn't, and that's how I've always lived my life. I don't know any other way to run my business.
Call Rosati Windows today, 777-4806.
How do you make a UDF ice cream quake? Easy. Pick any flavor of UDF ice cream, add your favorite mix-ins, and you've got a quake. Now, how do you pick your flavors and mix-ins? That's the hard part. Ice cream quakes, only at United Dairy Farmers.
Recalculating route. Estimated arrival time. Never.
For people with nasal congestion, snoring, or sleep apnea, finding a solution feels like a never-ending road trip.
First stop, my primary doctor. Then the pharmacy. Then a sleep specialist. Then an ENT.
What if there was just one destination for all your problems?
Welcome to Advent, your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care in one location. Over 95% of patients with severe nasal breathing issues report improvement. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
You have arrived at Clear Breathing.
All The Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. Instead of annoying national people talking to you this weekend, we've opted for annoying local people. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
All right, Fan Sports Saturday. Head up to the Bryant Heating Cooling System Fan Guest Hotline. Tony Gerdeman joins us here to talk about this new Buckeye football team's huge commitment. Tony, I know you wear about 6 different hats. At least I think you do. Tell me all the hats you wear right now and who you're doing work for.
Yeah, you can always find me at the Buckeye Weekly Podcast, and here in the next couple of weeks, we'll be launching a new site at BuckeyeInsiders.com, covering Ohio State like you would expect. You know, all sorts of things like that: football, basketball, recruiting, and everything you're looking for. So you can go there now. There's a splash page. You can throw your email address in there, and we will update you when we are live. So I appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Tony. That was a great update because, you know, there was that cryptic tweet you put out a couple of weeks ago, and I went, wait a minute, where's my man Tony going? But Tony's going upward and outward. Am I correct on that?
There you go. Great way of putting it.
Tony, last night Ohio State got a commitment from Caden Moss from right there in the heart of Mississippi. And I remember there was one of the recruiting, is it Recruitniks? What do you call the guys that cover recruiting 24/7? I guess you're one of those guys to a certain extent, right?
Yeah, definitely the Recruitniks, yes.
Yeah, the Recruitnik had put it out. He's locked to Ole Miss. So I don't know when that was. I think it was earlier in the week or something. And but as you guys and others have put out, you know, Ohio State was still working on him extremely hard. And Caden Moss, I don't know if you watched his announcement, but I thought it was extremely well done because he kept pulling these hats off the table and doing various false moves with them, and then he pulls up some kind of box like he's a treasure chest or something, and takes the Ohio State cap out and puts it on. But dude, that's a big get, right, for Tyler Bowen and company. I mean, they've got to first talk about Caden Moss, but I mean they've got a hell of a offensive line room coming in 2027.
Yeah, and that's 2 back-to-back classes, 5 last year, 6 in this year, you know, assuming everybody signs. But
right.
You know, he plays left tackle, but he's probably a mauling guard. He's like 6'5", 315, 330 in there, depending basically on, you know,
time of day,
which holiday which holiday they've just had. But you know, top 75, top 100 player, and is somebody that is, I guess, the cherry on top of this class and the offensive line class. But, you know, Tim, you'll remember he's the first player from, if he signs, he'll be the first Buckeye from Mississippi since Craig Robinson was part of the 1990 class with Joey Galloway and Butler Benote and Robert Smith.
I slightly remember.
Yeah. So, a tight end from Jackson, Mississippi way back in the day. Yeah. And here you've got an offensive lineman from Jackson, Mississippi. So maybe Ohio State's only allowed to recruit Jackson, Mississippi when they enter the state line. But a solid guy that is going to, I think, really, really help the running game down the road.
But here's the thing, you know, in what we're not really dancing around it. They went into the state of Mississippi and got probably the best recruit, the number one prospect out of the state of Mississippi. When you consider you got Ole Miss sitting right there, revitalized Ole Miss, and you know, our good buddy Clay Hall's coveted Mississippi State, but you got LSU right across the river, and I mean, this is just like anything else. It's a victory, but it's the ironic thing is he's the only one of the 6 offensive linemen pledged to this class so far that's from outside the state of Ohio. But boy, did they make a splash, right?
Yeah, I guess, you know, you lock down the guys in your state and then you swing for the fences a little bit. And this one was a long shot in terms of how far away they went. And, you know, it's on the offensive line, defensive line, when you can go into the Deep South and get somebody, because you're not just battling that in-state. You're not just battling Ole Miss. You're battling the entire SEC. And he took official visits to Tennessee and LSU and Kentucky. And so this wasn't just, they beat out Ole Miss. They beat out everybody. And they're doing well. They've done well recently in Alabama. Now you've got this in Mississippi. They've done some things in Louisiana. They've gone into Baton Rouge recently and gotten a top 100 guy in Blaine Bradford. So they're making their inroads, and it's all coinciding with NIL, maybe, where there's more to offer in terms of just, it's more than just the education and the legacy and the history. There's also the money.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what I said when he pulled out, it looked like a treasure chest, But no, the interesting thing, I was thinking about this driving into this station this morning, Tony, is that, Ohio State, if you go back and look at, when you talked about the SEC, back several years ago when the SEC was something. So somebody should get a highlight of that statement and put it up. But no, Ohio State looks so much like an SEC team, has for a while, right? But just with the, that word I like to use when I'm asking Ryan questions sometimes, the velocity with which the game is played, the way how fast guys are. You go watch a video of Caden Moss. I think he's number 73 for what is it, Jackson Academy? Yep. But you go watch the video, man. I'm never using the term he's the next Orlando Pace, but he does have traits such as he likes to get on a guy and put him on the ground. He is great at getting to the second level. He has great footwork. You know why all these teams wanted him. It wasn't just because of how big he was, but the way he moves is outstanding. Agreed?
Yeah, no, he won't. He'll take them to the sidelines and then put them on the bench.
Yeah,
there's some clips
like blindside. Yeah,
he'll just continue to take them, put them on the bus, strap them in, and then get back to the huddle. And you've seen when you watch his highlights, you see somebody that will play past the whistle and has the right mentality, I think, and has the kind of attitude that a lot of the big guys down in the South do. And it's just, you continue to bring that into Ohio State, and it has been interesting over the years to see that kind of movement. And John Cooper made them national recruiters.
Yes.
And then Jim Tressel expanded on that, and there was the whole SEC speed back during the Tressel time, and there was always that lamentation that Ohio State just wasn't fast enough at times. But then Urban Meyer gets to Ohio State, and he said that Alabama is our target. Yep. That's what we're shooting for. Big Ten is whatever. We're going for Alabama, and you saw them do that, and they attacked the SEC in terms of a recruiting footprint, and Ryan Day has continued to do that.
He is Tony Gerdeman, and just so you know, and by the way, Tony, this is one of the reasons I love working with Tim, because, and I mean this sincerely, it gives me a break sometimes, like as far as I went through when he was talking there. No, listen, I subscribed. I went to BuckeyeInsiders.com. Remember, if you go look at it, folks, it's Buckeye Insiders. I typed in Insider first. It kicked me out. Insiders. Make sure you get the S at the end of it. Yeah. Go there and subscribe to that. Tony, is there another big name that you have your eye on, or a couple of names of guys that Ohio State's in the mix for that we could get some news on soon?
Yeah, I think Marcus Fakatau, a defensive lineman, is a guy that is wanted nationally, and five-star guy, and is big, like 6'5", 6'6", 275.
Yeah.
And
boy, does he move.
What was his last name?
Fakatau.
Okay, so I thought you cursed at me there. I wasn't sure. I feel like I was insulted.
Yeah. Fakatou, right? I mean, I think that's right. Yeah.
That's only D.
Anytime I hear his name, my finger goes towards the button.
Yes, I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
Please finish the pronunciation.
Yes, go ahead.
I feel like I was asked that question just in case there's just to have the dump button going.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a big kid from California, originally from Alaska, has moved around, and the 24/7 composite says he's the number 2 defensive lineman. And as Tim said, you watch him move, and he's a guy that is already pushing 275, 280 pounds, but he looks like a defensive end to me. He's, you remember when the Ohio State signed Joey Bosa, he was like 270 pounds, and people were wondering if he was going to move inside, and he never did. And I don't know that this guy would either if the Buckeyes can land him.
Hey, remember I did a real good story one time with Joey Bosa. Asked him if you were a 3 technique, would you dominate also? And he goes, absolutely. Remember when they moved him inside a few times? Because man, in college you can move those guys all over the place and have some success. But I like Fakatau. I think he could be a tremendous player if they get him.
Yeah, and things are going well there for Ohio State, and I think he's deciding here in the next week. So that's going to be one to watch.
All right, Tony, appreciate the time. Thanks so much again, guys. BuckeyeInsiders.com. Go check it out. Subscribe there. It'll be up and running here very shortly, but you can get in on the so you get all the information when it first pops out there. Tony, thanks for the time.
Thank you guys very much.
You bet. That was Tony Gerdeman there, BuckeyeInsiders.com. And coming up next, he joins us, by the way, on the Bryant Heating Cooling System Fan Guest Hotline. Coming up next, a great honor for a former Ohio State football coach. Next time, we're going to play it sound. I promised you on this one, Nate. This is Fan Sports Saturday on the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman, and for the longest time, I figured the less I did, the less I'd hurt. Well, I figured wrong. Something always happens, and when it does, I've always gone to Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. They rank #1 in Ohio and top 5 in the nation for orthopedics. So whether you're struggling with ongoing pain or facing a sudden orthopedic injury, you can always schedule an appointment directly with their physicians. No referral required. Start with the specialists. Start at orthopedic1.com.
Summer's hot, but the day's still moving. Good thing Tim Hortons does cold, so you can keep moving too. The morning commute, cool it down and keep it moving with a Tim Hortons iced coffee. Running errands in the afternoon heat, a blackberry citrus refresher can keep things cool while you get back to it. Picking up the kids from camp? Sounds like a s'mores ice cap could make the car line a whole lot cooler. Tim's does cold, so you can refresh, recharge, and take full advantage of all that summer has to offer. Good thing Tim's does cold.
Blackberry citrus refresher contains a blend of juices from concentrate with sugar and other ingredients. Copyright Tim Hortons USA, Inc.
There's this thing repair people do nowadays.
Mappo's Plumbing. Sure, we do have a dispatch fee. It's $1 zillion.
A dispatch fee, a trip charge, going out to your house bill.
Bippity Bing Bong Electrical. Our trip charge is a nice new car.
But not Apex Pros, the pros who knows. When you call Apex for repairs on your AC, plumbing, or electric, there's no dispatch fee.
Thank you for calling Apex Pros. Why would we? Kinda silly to ask for money before we do anything, isn't it?
We give you an upfront price only after we know what's really going on. We think it's the right thing to do, instead of...
Slappy's AC, electric, plumbing, dry cleaning, haberdashery, and chiropractic. Of course we charge to come out. $1 kajillion, 3 diamond rings, and 2 exotic pets.
Apex Pros. Never a dispatch fee. Examples of competitive rates may have been slightly exaggerated.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Round of 32. Here we go. Scotty Vegas here, and I'm getting chills just thinking about the game on Wednesday night. The best place to cheer on Team USA is the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. We'll have contests. People go crazy for the coin toss tournament. Prizes to give away. Watch the game on the best screen in Columbus. Oh, I'm going for a juicy Sportsbook steak during the game. See you Wednesday at 8 at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Now at Kroger, your points add up to more ways to save every trip. Use them your way to take dollars off groceries at checkout or save at the pump. You can even save up to $35 on your next fill up. Same points, more choices. And with low prices on fresh, quality food, plus digital and personalized offers tailored to how you shop, your dollar goes further. Redeem your points online or in the app. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site or store for details.
Grilling season starts now at Billiards Plus. Shop top-of-the-line grills and turn every cookout into a win. Then bring the fun inside with pool tables, shuffleboard, and more. Everything for the ultimate game room. Billiards Plus. Grills, games, and good times. Online or on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Save big money on your big project at Menards. For over 65 years, Menards has been the destination for post-frame buildings. They go up fast and are a durable, low-maintenance solution for extra storage, more workspace, and to protect your equipment. Get a free estimate on the building of your dreams with our design and buy program in-store or on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards. Are you missing some freeloading buddies in your life? Well, catch Bishop and Friends on The Fan, featuring Columbus sports veteran Bo Bishop.
I have to acknowledge that I definitely had a mullet in middle school.
A man about town. Bo's a father who gives excellent advice.
If you're going to give me a breakfast pastry out of a box, the toaster strudel is significantly superior to the Pop-Tart.
Bishop and Friends, weekdays from 9 to noon on The Fan. And tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 The Fan.
What can ADP do for small business? We help answer the business questions, like how do you track employee time? How do you do payroll taxes? Or what does compliance even mean? So small businesses can focus on bigger questions. Now florists can ask, can we invent another holiday to sell bouquets? Pizza shops can ask, how do we stuff a calzone into a pizza crust? And pool cleaners can ask, what is that thing in the filter? These are the questions you can focus on when ADP takes care of the business of your small business. ADP for small business.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Bo Bishop and Dom Taberry. Dom remembers when Bo was a young whippersnapper, and Bo remembers when Dom wasn't part ape.
And then Yolanda one time wanted to wax my knuckles.
Tuesdays with Taberry.
Sponsored by Green & Sons.
Tuesdays at 10:30 on The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
All right, Fan Sports Saturday here. Tito, Tim May. Nate over there running things for us. And Pooterball, yes. That's allegedly what his last name is. That can't be a radio name, right?
You know what? If I had a trick pitch, I'd call it the Pooterball.
You would. That's a good one, yeah.
Pooterball.
Right. I think that's something Sid Finch would have thrown for the Mets back in 1985.
I taught my baby brother Tony, who's 68. By the way.
I know he is.
And then I taught my son Corey how to throw a sinker, a fast speed, even though I couldn't pitch. I mean, I was accurate, but I didn't have the wherewithal. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I taught them both how to throw a sinker ball that looks like a fastball without having to kill your arm.
Right.
It's also a big-time curveball, but I'll keep that secret. That's just a May domination secret.
So anyway, they sprung a surprise. Ohio State did on the Lieutenant Governor, Jim Tressel. And we're going to play this audio. It's a little bit longer audio than we normally play on The Fan. It's going to be almost 3 minutes long, I think about 2.5 minutes long. But you're going to hear Ross Bjork, you'll hear Jim Tressel, you hear Ryan Dan, all of this. But here is how Jim Tressel found out he's going to be inducted in the Ring of Honor at Ohio Stadium. Go ahead and fire it now, Nate.
Some special recognition.
He's almighty.
We're going to surprise the heck out of you.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Congratulations.
I know it's very hard to surprise the Lieutenant Governor. There's lots of security detail that we had to go through. We had to go through the boss here to make sure that we could get you here on this special day. You mean so much to the university. We wanted to honor you in a special way and commemorate your legacy here at Ohio State.
It's one of the things that our team is talking about is legacy. And when I think about Coach Tressel, I think about legacy. Legacy is leaving something better than you found it, and then the impact that you make while you're here. You left this university, you left this program in a better place than you found it, the impact that you've had on so many people. And I just think every day that, like, if I could have the impact, just maybe half of the impact that you've made on so many people. I hear so many stories, and you guys have shared them with me. It helps me because can you believe that when Coach Tressel met me, you know, he knew my uncle, he knew my brother, he knew my wife, he knew my sister, he knew my birthday of my grandmother. I remember when Coach Tressel would take me in my office and sit down and talk to me for a half an hour, asking me about my family. You know, it checks me. I just want to thank you. But I also want to thank you for what you've done for the football program, what you've done for the university, and what you're doing for the state. It means a lot. So we appreciate you and love you. So thank you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate it.
So, Coach, there's only two coaches that are permanently recognized inside Ohio Stadium. Paul Brown on the west side, Coach Hayes on the east side. And again, based on your legacy, based on the impact of these men that sit in this room among thousands of other young men that you coached here in the state of Ohio, but especially here at Ohio State, the university is so proud to honor you with permanent signage.
Pretty cool.
Wow. Wow. Thank you guys. That's you guys.
I know you thought you were recording another video.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, we'd love for you to say.
Wow. You know, my dad came here in 1943 as a freshman for Paul Brown. And he went away to war and he never got back. And so to have my name up there, it's really his name. And it's all about the players. It's all about the team. And I know we used to have long meetings, but I'm speechless, right?
We surprised you.
You surprised me. Wow, crazy.
You deserve it.
Wow, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Pretty cool moment there when Tress found out. They recorded that on a Friday is when they actually did that with him, and then on the Tuesday, I think, is when it got when they made it public for everybody. But a neat thing there with Tress. Well-deserved, Tim.
Yep.
And I know you've worked your ass off on the beat for years, and you were in the throes of and I know you said earlier, no offense to John Cooper. I'll say no offense to John Cooper also, but it was very important for Ohio State to nail the hire after Cooper. Safe to say they did.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like they nailed the hire after Tressel.
Yeah.
And it was just happenstance that Urban Meyer was a free agent. But the bottom line is, I remember telling Coach Tressel 2 days into the search after John Cooper was terminated that I thought he was going to get the job.
You did say that?
Oh, I told him. I talked to him on the phone almost every night during the thing because you're always trying to keep up with what's going on, and I think it was vice versa.
Sure, yeah, one final you do too.
Yeah, but I told him the second night. I said because the way I analyzed it, Andy Geiger was not going to hire Glenn Mason.
He wasn't.
No, because he wasn't going to be dictated to on who to hire, and there were people trying to dictate this is the guy. And I said all you got to worry about is somebody coming out of left field, and it looked like the guy that came out of left field was Mike Bellotti.
Out of Oregon
then. Yeah. And but you've heard that tale, whether it's true or not, but it's a good tale. Is that Mike Bellotti during his interview asked whether they played Michigan every year?
That's right.
And even if they didn't, it was he just seemed like a fish out of water if he'd shown up at Ohio State. Let's put it that way. But Jim Tressel got the job. There was that thing going around that John Gruden was being offered the job. And wait, was that?
No, it wasn't Gruden then. No, Gruden was later.
Gruden was later. Yeah, that was after the Tressel check.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter. Bottom line is that that never happened either.
Right.
I mean, there were some interest involved, but that never happened. But the bottom line about Tressel was he came in. He had won 4 national championships at Youngstown State. He came in with a plan.
Yeah.
He had been here. He was the quarterbacks coach when I first started covering Ohio State.
Right.
At Ohio State in 1984, and he all of a sudden he just went to Youngstown State with little fanfare.
Yeah.
And kind of started doing what his dad did at Baldwin Wallace. I mean, Lee Tressel was one of the great coaches.
Oh, most successful ever.
Lee Tressel's scheme was he always took quarterbacks and linebackers.
Yeah.
More than any other position group. I'm talking about out of high school.
Sure.
Because you could make linebackers into linemen and linebackers, and you could take quarterbacks and they could play because usually the quarterback was the best player on a high school
athlete,
team.
yeah.
And you could make him a wide receiver, a defensive back, a safety, a quarterback, running backs. And that was sort of his modus operandi. But Jim just took Youngstown State to levels they weren't before or since. And the way, he played for, I think, 6 national championships and won 4, something like that. Then he shows up at Ohio State in the second year. First year, man, they blew a huge lead at Penn State. Remember that year?
I do remember that game, yeah.
In, what was that, 2001?
Yeah, they lost to UCLA early in the season, right?
And then they lost for the second straight time to South Carolina in a bowl game.
Yeah.
Right? I mean.
Who was that local kid who?
Brewer.
Ryan Brewer.
Kid from what, Piqua?
Yeah, I think it was Piqua
or Troy, one of those two.
Troy's away from
Yeah. And, but, both Cooper lost to South Carolina. It was his last game as a Buckeye coach. And then Tressel then lost to him. And you kind of go, well, wait a minute, what's really changed here?
Yeah.
And then, boy, it was obvious. His second year on the job. I mean, Matt Wilhelm, all these guys will tell you the Tressel effect, Bobby Carpenter, right on down the line. But this is quite deserving. And it leads you to think, well, there's got to be another name up there sooner rather than later. And that's Urban Meyer, because he also won a national championship at Ohio State. And his winning percentage at Ohio State was stupid.
Right.
He never lost to Michigan. Tressel only lost once to Michigan, at least unofficially, right?
Right, yeah.
2010, we'll see if those wins ever get back on the books. I doubt if they will, but the bottom line is quite deserving. And it's really interesting, too, because what I just alluded to there, his leaving was unceremonial. I mean, it was basically, you got to go.
Right.
And so he left. And so now to come back, work his way back up the ladder from an associate kind of VP or something at Akron to the president of Youngstown State to lieutenant governor
right.
of the state of Ohio. Wow. And now he's big. And now and Ross Bjork hit it around the head. I mean, and so did Ryan Day.
Mm-hmm.
This guy changed the culture at Ohio State in his own way. John Cooper did too. John Cooper hit the recruiting trail, the national recruiting trail, he and his staff, and turned Ohio State back into a national prominent name. But, buddy, I was just talking to Andy Katzenmoyer and Gary Berry about this at a golf tournament I was at in Ashland yesterday, a benefit for children's charities up there. Great tournament. But the bottom line is, they were as good as anybody in the country from basically 94 through 98.
Absolutely were. And you're right, Cooper did change that. And he gets, and him losing to, losing the way he did was tough.
Yeah, but there had been a playoff back then.
Yes.
Who knows? But there wasn't.
Right, yeah.
And then Tressel came along and took it to a different level. He left it, as Ryan Day said, better than he found it. And Ryan Day has done the same with Urban, in my opinion.
Sure.
Dude, this is the golden age of Ohio State football. It's crazy.
Woody changed the culture. Woody had a big change at Ohio State when he was here. And the next time there was a seismic change, I think, was Tressel.
The first quarter century of this century has been phenomenal for Ohio State football.
Yep. Coming up next, the CBJ added a player last night. But did they lose a couple of players? We'll talk about that next. Fan Sports Saturday.
1, 2, 3. Here at the Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Nothing feels better on a hot summer day than coming home to a nice air-conditioned house. If your AC is on the fritz, don't sweat it. Call the pros at the Waterworks Heating and Cooling. We service all makes and models and can provide great savings on a Lennox home comfort system that delivers that perfect feeling. The Waterworks Heating and Cooling Services. Call us at 614-232-2222 and schedule fast service today. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Our double hung is as good as it gets. There's something really simple. It's called an interlock. We interlock our windows. The interlock is the absolute best way to alleviate air infiltration. With the interlock, it's harder to break into. When you interlock the sashes, it makes a better window. It's just a darn good window, and we're very proud of it.
Call Rizzotti today at 777-4806.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and summer's here, and it's time to upgrade your ride at Germain Toyota. Whether you're heading to the lake, the ballpark, or your next family road trip, the all-new 2026 Toyota Tundra is built for every adventure. Right now, get 0% APR financing for up to 60 months on the 2026 Tundra with vehicles sold at MSRP. That's legendary Toyota quality, power, and capability with an incredible summer offer. Visit Germain Toyota at the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota, your summer starts here. See dealer for details.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
I'm Nate Putterbaugh, their sports update. The first round of the NHL draft was last night with the 14th overall pick. The Blue Jackets selected Boston College forward Oscar Hemming. The draft continues today. The Blue Jackets have 6 more picks beginning in the 3rd round. The Cincinnati Reds beat the Pirates last night 6-4 on the back of a 2-run shot from Noelvi Marte in the 8th inning. They square off again today at 4:05. Catch the action right here on The Fan. The Guardians fell at home last night to the Seattle Mariners 3-1. The Guardians have now lost 4 of their last 5. They try to get back on track tonight at 7:10. Late last night at the World Cup, Egypt beat Iran 1-0 to advance past the group stage for the first time, and Belgium blew out New Zealand 5-1. Busy day at the World Cup today. Croatia faces Ghana, and Panama squares off with England at 5. Colombia and Portugal and Congo and Uzbekistan face off at 7:30, and Algeria and Austria, along with Jordan and Argentina in the nightcap. Breaking sports news and what happens to the Fan, Ohio Sports Destination.
During weekend programming, pants are optional.
Look at my butt!
However, leather chairs may have been a bad choice. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
All right, Fan Sports Saturday. Let's head off to the Bryant Heating Cooling System Fan Guest Hotline again. And we will talk to Aaron Portzeline now from The Athletic. Aaron Portzeline has been covering the Jackets since day 0. Good morning, Aaron. I was hoping we could have a conversation about, oh, man, the Jackets added a stud. I'm excited about the upcoming season and the future of the Jackets. And then I'm hearing now that from various reports and also from your article on The Athletic that Zach Werenski may not want to be here long term. And the same with Marchenko, who's led the team in scoring the last few years. What's going on here? What's changed?
Well, what's changed is the whispers around Werenski have now turned into conversations around Werenski. I mean, when the GM says he's listening to offers, he was not even taking phone calls on Werenski as of Thursday. So that's gotten more real, more serious, if you will. And Marchenko's camp informed the Blue Jackets that they wanted to talk after the draft. Kind of a cruel twist. Don Waddell, the general manager, thought that meant, okay, they're excited by the Valeri Nichushkin addition, a friend of Kirill Marchenko's. Let's talk extension. And then it leaks. Kevin Weeks, NHL Network, reported last night, unfortunately, right before the Blue Jackets picked, that no, Marchenko's kind of feeling the same way that Werenski is. So now on either end of the ice, you've got their best player not asking directly for a trade, but certainly indicating they don't plan to be here long term, and that's obviously a step toward what most assume would be a trade if things don't change.
Hey, Porter, you remember when you were like a super stud in like high school, college, and then your girlfriend one night calls you and says, "We got to talk." That's what that sounds like, right?
Yeah, and she's not like looking. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Not talking about picking out houses or wedding dates.
No.
So the opposite.
Right.
But the column you wrote, the story you wrote for The Athletic and New York Times. But did you ever think you'd work for the New York Times? Isn't that crazy? But
I did not.
Back in the day when we were sharing a room at the Fiesta Bowl and you were sick. Right. But anyway, But
you're great nurse, by the way.
Yeah, but you're welcome. You're here today because of me, by the way. But the bottom line is, I mean, like the headline on your story that they ran on NewYorkTimes.com. I mean, Blue Jackets have nothing to celebrate at NHL draft amid dire Werenski, Marchenko reports, and that is. So where are we right now in the great time? Don't worry about your dog because I've got one. He does the same thing when you don't need him to. Or when I'm babysitting my granddaughter, she does that too. But the bottom line is, where are we now on the epoch, the timeline of the Columbus Blue Jackets in terms of not only getting big time players but holding on to them? Is the Werenski thing? Does that have to happen for the good of the franchise? But it's just for me. He's 29 years old. He's not right. He's not an old man. So I mean, and fans have come to associate Werenski with the Columbus Blue Jackets, good or bad. And he's a super big time hero, the Norris Trophy winner. If he goes flying, I mean, what does that say about the franchise? I went a long way to just ask you that question.
Yeah, so listen, it would have to be a player-for-player trade. I mean, there may be draft picks coming back to Columbus as sweeteners in the deal, whatever.
Yeah.
But Waddell's going to get a player back from him. This is, I mean, it's a nightmare scenario to have to trade Werenski. But if you put a player like that on the market, you're going to get some stunning returns because there's so few players like that, right?
Yeah.
There's that. But just in the over, and Marchenko's going to draw a big return too.
Yes.
People like 6'4", 30-goal scorer wingers. They do. But just in a sense of this organization, like this to me is more devastating than when Rick Nash asked to be traded. It is. I think Werenski's the greatest player in the history of the franchise,
right.
for one.
Right.
But when Rick Nash asked for a trade, you could see no clear direction where the club was going. Like, what the hell are they doing?
Right.
How is this team going to be competitive? The flip side of this is 4 years, and where we're at now, 4 years ago, this team undertook a rebuild. Everybody wants to rebuild. Everyone likes to say it. It's the process that just is not a lot of fun. And the last 4 years, they've fired coaches, they've changed GMs, all of this stuff. They've gotten better all 4 years. I know people don't like to think of them as being on the cusp or as having accomplished anything these last 4 years, but they've literally gotten better each of the 4 years. They had 92 points this year. Was it good enough? It wasn't. Was the last 3 weeks of the season where they just completely choked awful and depressing for many? It was.
Mm-hmm.
But now that they've done it feels like they've gone through the really hard stuff of a rebuild, and now your anchor player, your star, your superstar says, yeah, I think it's time to move on. Like, it's just such a kick at such a difficult time. And I feel a little bit differently about Marchenko. Like, I trust Week's reporting. Waddell essentially confirmed it as well. He feels he understands that situation as well. Knowing the Marchenko situation is a little bit different. He's a restricted free agent when his contract's up after this coming season. The Blue Jackets still have control over him. This, to me, part of me wonders if this is, and his agent is an operator and a leverage king.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not seizing this opportunity to say, oh, you want to do 7 by 10 for Marchenko? How about 7 by 12?
Mm-hmm.
Or we'll do the same stuff Werenski's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I could see this as a negotiating ploy there. The Werenski stuff, I think, is pretty certain that he's on his way out.
Aaron Portzeline joins us here on the Bryant Heating Cooling System Fan Guest Hotline from The Athletic. Go subscribe to The Athletic. It is the greatest sports page you're going to find right now out there. Porty, with the Werenski thing now, I know obviously the ultimate goal would be to keep him here. Secondary be get the most you can for him. When would be the best time, do you think, to move him?
Well, I mean, I think it's now. I think you've got 2 years left on his term, and you've got the reigning Norris Trophy winner, right?
Right.
I can't imagine it could get higher than that. He was 7th in Hart Trophy voting. So, by all measures, this is one of the elite players in the game. Look, Columbus has gone through this before. I think back to Panarin and Bobrovsky when they came to camp with those guys, and Panarin was like, yeah, I think I'm going to try free agency. It's nothing against Columbus. And Bobrovsky was pissed off because he didn't get the contract he thought that he deserved, and they let that linger all year. And man, oh man, was that a weight. That was a weight that every player in that room dragged around for 7 months of that season. I don't think you want to do that here. I don't think they wanted – well, I shouldn't say that. The Blue Jackets did not want that out there. I think there's been a leverage play by other people involved in all of this, in both of these situations, that's putting some heat on the Blue Jackets. So my sense is it should get done sooner rather than later, and yet I recognize that this is not a trade that anybody wants to make.
And explain to people why it would be important maybe to do it now rather than wait, because you risk injury, you risk the devaluation of Werenski, et cetera, and yet you have a standing contract with him. Explain why Why it's so important to do it sooner rather than later.
Well, I think what you said is true. You don't want to risk injuries. This is a player that has missed.
Correct.
Has missed, especially early in the season, shoulder injuries, right? He's not above it. Defensemen get hit a lot.
Yep.
So there's that. I think the cloud hanging over it. The other thing is, I think you got to rip the Band-Aid off. If you're going to get a good player back in return, it's not going to be commensurate with Werenski, certainly. But the sooner you know what you really look like, the better it can start to proceed. I don't see the point in waiting. I also think a market like this, like it's taken so many kicks in the teeth through the years. You don't want 5 months of the entire league talking about the two great players that just don't want to be in your sad sack city and organization anymore.
Yes.
Rip off the Band-Aid, get it going. That would be my feeling.
I would be remiss, Porty, if I didn't at least bring this up. Oscar Hemming, draft pick for the Jackets. Good pick.
Who's that now? Poor kid. That poor kid.
Yeah.
You like the pick, though?
I do. Like, the one kid that I was shocked to see fall to them is that Ethan Belchetz, who is like 6'4", 230. Like he looks like an NHL player right now. Hemming has that look too. He's going to go back to Boston College as a sophomore. Big, rambunctious, physical forward. They certainly can use more of that in their mix. I like the player. I think they wanted to move that pick. Nothing against Hemming, but they were looking for immediate help if they could get it. Hemming is a guy that I picked in a few of those mock drafts we do in advance, just because he made so much sense. So they were more than happy to take him, but I still think their preference would have been to turn that pick into immediate help. Even though, God, how hard is it to build a roster if you're a GM when year two, as I wrote today, two of your pillars are on shaky ground all of a sudden? Like, how do you know how to even proceed with this stuff? So what a weird night it was last night for Columbus.
Hey, real quick, what do you think Bonus thinks about all this, Porty?
Well, you know what? I've been thinking about two people here in the last 24 hours. Does Rick Bonus sign on for this stuff if he knows he's losing his Norris Trophy and his leading goal scorer? Does Charlie Coyle sign for 6 years if he knows Werenski's leaving? Right?
Right. It's tough.
All fair questions.
Professional sports, ladies and gentlemen.
This Hemming guy seems like a show-off, Porty, because he's 17 years old going into his sophomore year.
I know, right? Right?
Yeah.
And he's not afraid of anybody. Like, if you watch him play.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think people quite grasp sometimes, like, when people were all over some of the young players last year who switched from Canadian juniors to college and didn't immediately produce. What's lost sometimes is how old a lot of college hockey players are.
Yep.
Like, there's a ton of 22 and 23-year-old kids. And when you're 17, 18, that is a huge age gap. Hemming had one goal this year in a half season with Boston College. I suspect he'll be a lot more productive in his sophomore year. Caden Lindstrom, the draft pick from 2 years ago, did not do much at all offensively with Michigan State. I would assume he's going to have a bigger year stats-wise this year, but it is such a challenge and a good challenge for these players, instead of dominating against kids their age, to go to a league and play guys 4 or 5 years older than they are. Grown men, physically formed dudes now, and to learn to battle in that space is really helpful.
Yeah, but to walk in there with a target on your back, too, number one draft pick, yeah.
This kid? You think this kid's good? Yeah,
no.
Right, exactly. It's crazy.
All right, Porty, we've talked back-to-back days, you and I, yesterday on Morning Juice, and now today here. I'm going to leave you alone for about a week, okay?
I don't believe you, but that's cool. Thanks for that. I appreciate the intent.
All right, Porty. That was Aaron Portzeline there joining us on the Bryant Heating Cooling System Fan Guest Hotline. Go to The Athletic, subscribe. It's great. And Porty's got awesome stuff on there. He's been covering the Jackets since day zero. Coming up next, Ross Bjork spoke this week. We'll hear some of what he had to say. We'll do that next. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Need a roof you can count on? Ramos Roofing has protected homes and businesses throughout Ohio for almost 20 years. Whether it's a leaky roof, storm damage, new siding, or new gutters to protect your foundation, Ramos Roofing delivers quality materials, professional installation, and honest service every time. Get your free roof or exterior assessment today and ask about Ramos Roofing's no-interest financing options. Call 614-761-7663 or visit online at ramosroofingohio.com.
Summer's hot, but the day's still moving. Good thing Tim Hortons does cold so you can keep moving too. The morning commute, cool it down and keep it moving with a Tim Hortons iced coffee. Running errands in the afternoon heat, a blackberry citrus refresher can keep things cool while you get back to it. Picking up the kids from camp? Sounds like a s'mores ice cap could make the car line a whole lot cooler. Tim's does cold so you can refresh, recharge, and take full advantage of all that summer has to offer. Good thing Tim's does cold.
Blackberry citrus refresher contains a blend of juices from concentrate with sugar and other ingredients. Copyright Tim Hortons USA Inc.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing.
School may be out of session, but learning never stops. As you engage in fun activities with your children this summer, make sure you take those opportunities to lift up the lessons we can all pull from the world around us every day. Practice reading together. Put those math skills to work. Let's keep our brains in gear so we're ready to hit the ground running this fall.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
Teachers need tons of help.
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible, but Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC.
Round of 32. Here we go. Scotty Vegas here, and I'm getting chills just thinking about the game on Wednesday night. The best place to cheer on Team USA is the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. We'll have contests. People go crazy for the coin toss tournament. Prizes to give away. Watch the game on the best screen in Columbus. Oh, I'm going for a juicy Sportsbook steak during the game. See you Wednesday at 8 at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Happy Father's Day month.
You know what, Jerry? I grew up with a single mom, so it's always been important to me to be the best dad I could be.
You install air conditioners in people's homes, Aaron. That literally makes you the cool dad. Get it?
Get Eco.
Did you just call a guy with an HVAC company a cool dad? That really is a dad joke.
Get Eco.
A cool dad like you can install a new air conditioner that makes the whole family cool.
Well, a really cool dad would repair the air conditioner they have.
And leave more money for Father's Day presents.
With our AC Repair Buyback program, we'll even credit you any money you spend on the repairs against the purchase of a new system, if you change your mind and replace it.
Get Eco.
Hypothetically, Aaron, what does a guy like yourself look for in a necktie?
I don't wear ties, Jerry, and I'm certainly not your dad.
Get Eco.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and cool dad HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Morning Juice is now live on YouTube. Join Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Thidoff weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
Just search 971 The Fan to catch the live experience or watch on demand.
The Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We saw some rain this morning, and it will return later this afternoon with a little bit of a break for some sunshine. It will be humid today, and it will continue into the later parts of this week. Rain chances return late tonight with some heavier rain in some of our southern counties, but that leads into a warm Sunday tomorrow with isolated showers throughout the afternoon. I'm your 10 Weather Impact meteorologist, Lily Aldrich, with 97.1 The Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. Live, local, and still slightly drunk.
I'm not drunk, all right? I just have a speech impediment.
This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Fan Sports Saturday. Thank you to Aaron Portzeline for joining us there. Don't forget, we'll still have Dylan Davis coming up in the next segment. A lot of Ohio State football talk, and then we'll have John Gerber on at 12:30. Give us his take on what's going on in the PGA this week, and also a little preview maybe of the senior U.S. Open. Tim, you mentioned the Heat. I'm looking at this. Is this right? I should just ask.
Mid-90s all week.
I'm seeing like 100 on Friday.
Could be. The one I saw said it was going to be 97 or 98. I think they were afraid to go to 100. But every time it says, at my house, every time it's just going to be 85, it usually gets to at least 89. So
it says 97 Wednesday, 99 Thursday, 100 Friday, 97 Saturday, 97 Sunday. Wow.
Yeah, that's hot.
Well,
that's hot for the regular guy. It's really hot for guys over 50.
Yeah.
Remember, I brought that up a while ago. I just remember those guys just sweating so bad. I think Joey Sindelar led at one point the last time they were here. And that was in August, wasn't it? I think. Wasn't it the same time
it was,
Ohio State football camp had opened? I don't know why that open would move around. I'll probably have the date wrong. But, man, this is going to be maybe the hottest week of the year. And they're going to be out here walking 18.
Ross Bjork had a press conference the other day. You were there.
Yeah.
Thursday it would have been, I guess, a couple of days ago. And from what Dave Biddle said, it was at the Jack Nicklaus Museum.
Yeah, we were reminiscing the last time we were there for a press conference. It was the Tressel, Gene Smith, Gordon Gee show.
Right.
And that was, I remember they were counseled going into it to give a statement. Each person give a statement and take maybe like 3 questions and let Gene Smith pretty much or Gordon Gee handle the questions. And instead they stood there and took the darts from all of us, including when I asked Gordon Gee, I said, well, based on the language in Coach Tressel's contract, you have the right to dismiss him. Did you contemplate or whatever? I'm paraphrasing. Did you consider dismissing him? That's where he had to, for another term, the infamous line, "Are you kidding? I just hope he doesn't dismiss me."
Right, yeah. Who doesn't fire me? Yep.
Yeah, no, dismiss me, because he used the same word.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he used the same word I did, and he was joking. But that wasn't, in Buckeyeville, that wasn't considered, Buckeye Nation, that wasn't considered the time to be joking.
Right.
But, and then, 3 months later, Jim Tressel was unceremoniously removed as head football coach.
Ross Bjork, during that press conference, he talked about the Protect College Sports Act. Let's hear from him here.
Let's go back to civics class, right? Yeah. And talk about this. Look, it's hard to get into the dynamics of sort of the, process and the communication. What I will say is I know myself and our colleagues, Big Ten, the SEC, we all want this stability to happen. And in our mind, based on everything going on in the court system, the legal system, the threats that come out pretty much every day about when we make a rule, now there's a new lawsuit, you can't govern that way. And I think everyone recognizes that, including, our politicians. They recognize that. So in our mind, we've got to communicate around this bill, and we have. The Big Ten has been, at the table. The SEC's been at the table. But unless you have the antitrust protection codified in a very, very tight window and tight way, And unless you have state law preemption that does not allow state law to continue, then I'm not sure the rest of it has any legal liability protection. So to me, those are the two anchor points that have to be tightened up in some way. So we've expressed that. We'll continue to express that, because then you can actually make rules around transfer windows, around 5 years of eligibility, around all these other things. But if you don't have the state law preemption and you don't have the antitrust as tight as it can be, the rest of it doesn't matter. So, what's been described, this is a compromise bill, right, between, a Republican senator and a Democratic senator that, oversee this committee that has jurisdiction. And so we're communicating with our delegation, we're communicating with lots of leaders around this, but we got to start there. And then there's some other things that, need clarification around House case settlement terms and what NIL means in this bill, sports sponsorship. There's all kinds of other, sort of nits and gnats around it. But unless you start with those two things, the rest of it may not have any teeth to survive any sort of legal threat.
So
he was responding to a question I asked about what
was that your question?
What he wants to see come out of what's coming out of Washington. And and the bottom line is they want, more than anything else, they just want, like he pointed out, they want something that's law, where every time you make a rule in the NCAA, like he pointed out, it gets challenged in court. I mean, what Trinity what's his name? The Trinidad
Chambliss.
Yeah, for example, is another great example. I mean, Brendan Sorsby, at least the NCAA held firm and fast on that.
Yeah,
round down the line, but right on down the line, they're getting sued left and right. Like I said, the lawyers are making this is a go get the money moment for lawyers for the last several years.
Right,
when it comes to lawsuits against the NCAA and against institutions and stuff, but what has to come out of Washington. And I truly, this really makes you kind of nauseous a little bit to know that people are members of a club, an organization called the NCAA, and they basically, for the most part, are refusing to adhere to many of the rules that a club they joined and have paid dues into.
Right.
They're to whatever benefits them. That's what they want. That's what they want to do. And as we well know, like he pointed out about states' preemption of states' laws, because every state's made a different law almost about NIL.
Sure, yeah.
For example, NIL legality, et cetera. And you have to have something that's national that supersedes that, for example. But do you really want the federal government involved in your day-to-day business like this when they haven't been? Well, actually, the NCAA came out of like big-time federal situation way back in when Teddy Roosevelt was president, and guys were dying on the football field, and right on down the line. So, but it's that they're almost desperate to get something that everybody not agrees to adhere to, has to adhere to,
right?
Or you're breaking law, which is, do you really want to go down that path of having somebody arrested on campus, for
right?
It probably wouldn't be that, but you understand what I'm saying.
Sure,
it's like, no, son, you're going to federal prison. Remember from Office Space?
Yes, I do remember that. Yes,
federal prison.
It's a little different. Yeah, a little different. Yes,
but so that's what they're trying to get to, and we'll see if they can get what they want out of Congress. But what I was asking, the Big Ten, the SEC weren't really even consulted before they came out with the original framework of this thing. And I go, how can that be?
They're the ones
the biggest voices, entities in the room, they weren't even in the room.
It's amazing.
But not be involved, and because it almost sounds like they're trying to uplift everybody else around the SEC and the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So that's what's bothered me about the whole thing. But something's got to be done eventually, man. It's gotten kind of crazy because, like he said, every 2 to 3 minutes, every 30 minutes, something new comes down.
Yeah, something new. Bjork had a lot more to say. We're going to hear more from him next. Also, we're going to hear from Dylan Davis. Probably more importantly, we'll hear from Dylan Davis next. Yeah. He will join us in 2 minutes. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
At ADP, we know you want your landscape business to succeed, but we don't know anything about landscaping. ADP only knows how to handle the business of your small business. So if ADP focuses on the payroll and the HR, while you focus on the land and the scaping, success should follow. Just don't expect us to know all about Kentucky bluegrass, zero-turn cutting, or what to do with a woodchuck. That's for you to figure out. Let ADP help your small business focus on the part of the business you're good at. ADP for small business.
Dip it, dunk it, smother it. It's queso gone wild at Hothead Burritos. Try our new loaded potatoes covered in queso and topped off with hardwood smoked bacon, burritos, bowls, nachos, and more. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some queso.
Grilling season starts now at Billiards Plus. Shop top-of-the-line grills and turn every cookout into a win. Then bring the fun inside with pool tables, shuffleboard, and more. Everything for the ultimate game room. Billiards Plus. Grills, games, and good times. Online or on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
It's time for sun and savings at Great Lakes Hyundai. Right now, get a new 2060 Elantra SE for $59 per month for a 2-year lease. Just $59 a month for the drive into summer sale. This month only. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Dublin or Columbus or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit $39.95 down plus tax title first month payment. 7,500 miles per year and 7.6.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
After my accident, people warned me to slow down. I said, I don't know how. Thanks to my VA care team, I haven't.
At VA, we're using technology to help veterans recover faster and live their lives to the fullest. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov/PSA.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Garnish your Bloody Mary with sports talk. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Fan Sports Saturday. Let's head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette, joins us, covers Ohio State, among other things. Frequent guest on the Tim May Show, the podcast he does on Fanstream Sports. Hello, Dylan. Thanks for joining us. What did you glean, or what stood out to you the most from the Ross Bjork press conference that happened on Thursday?
I think it definitely has to be the additions to the Woody Hayes Athletic Center and the renovations that are coming there. I really enjoyed just hearing talk about the fact that it's time to go there, that they've been talking about these plans for a while now, and then actually, they're going to put shovel to ground here and actually get these things done. And I think it's long overdue. I know a lot of people talk about the things that need to happen at Ohio Stadium, but I think the Woody's been, long overdue for improvements. And look, it's not even about the bells and whistles, as Ross Bjork talked about during that press conference. It's about simply having the right kind of meeting rooms, enough space to be able to do the things they need to do, operationally. So, certainly the bells and whistles will be a part of that. And those things matter in recruiting. They still absolutely do matter. But it's just from a functionality standpoint that they need more space. And I think, again, that's been long overdue. So I was excited to hear that for the program, because I think that's definitely a big thing. And the fact that it's coming sooner rather than later, $125 million, that's a heck of an investment. It sounds like they're pretty much good with the money there between gifts and things they have lined up. I think they about had the money, spoken for. So definitely exciting stuff there for the program.
Yeah, why do people move from a big house to a bigger house? Because they need the space. Right, Dylan? And the interesting thing is I was there when they broke ground on it's not even the current. It's been renovated several times. The Woody Hayes Athletic Center has, but I was there when they broke ground in 86 for that. And Woody Hayes was one of the ones who turned over, a spade of earth, to symbolically get the thing going, get the trench dug. And I remember walking up to him afterwards, and I said, Coach Hayes, this is great and everything. I said, but aren't you the guy that said if you're going to fight in the North Atlantic, you have to train in the North Atlantic? And he said, and he basically said, I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said, no. He goes, you've got to keep up with or be ahead of the competition because they're coming for you, type thing. And he was right then. And that was one of the few in college football. That was one of the few indoor practice facilities when it opened finally in the middle of the season in 1987. And but they've been fighting at keeping up with the Joneses or being the Joneses, ever since then, right? And so some people can scoff at the idea, but right now, Ohio State is one of the top 2 or 3, if not the number 1 elite football programs in the country. I think y'all would agree with that in terms of what they're doing, the players they're getting, the coaches they've got. the highest payroll is up, as Ross pointed out also in that press conference, the highest payroll for our coaching staff in the country when you take into account Arthur Smith, joining the staff this year, right on down the line. So you do have to keep turning it over. But it's really funny when guys go to the NFL, they go to usually much lesser facilities than you find at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. That's what's kind of funny about this is it's still sort of a allure in the recruiting game, both when it comes to recruiting high school players and the transfer portal, right? And that's why you got to keep it going.
Yeah, without question. I mean, look, when recruits come to campus, they're going to spend a ton of time at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center, and certainly I don't think a lot of people realize just how much time the current players, like people on the roster, spend, and coaching staff, for that matter, spend at the Woody. So I mean, this is very, very much their home, and so absolutely, that's one of the biggest selling points. But hey, you're going to spend most of your time while you're here at this university, in this facility. So what does that look like? And certainly Ohio State can do with an upgrade there. Yeah,
and when it first opened, for example, in '87, training table was at the Fawcett Center. I always saw it at the Farrah Fawcett Center. It was at the Fawcett Center, and they had to go across the road to go have training table. I think that's where it was at that point, finally. And then, now, of course, they don't have to leave the building. They have a study hall there, but they also have a really nice, for want of another term, cafeteria, food arrangements. Right now, it's hard to believe they need a bigger weight room when you see how large that weight room is, or the workout room is, and even the training room, but they want more space for everybody. But, the line he used about the coaches, not the coaches, but a lot of the support personnel are in converted closets, and you can only convert a closet so much, right? And and then, like he used the deal with Tyler Bowen about, if the offensive linemen want to come in, and some of them want to watch tape, but he wants a private meeting with maybe one or two players, they have to go down the hall or find some spot because the meeting room and the coach's office is the same thing right now when it comes to assistant coaches. So that's what they're working for. How much is too much, I don't know. But whenever it's been on the books now for several years, they want to get this done. And Ross's point is, hey, let's go get it done, man. I mean, forget about talking about it anymore. Get the $125 million pledged or in the bank and move on. So, hey, what else stood out about that, though? I mean, the press conference to you, talking about Ohio Stadium is always being renovated in some form or fashion, et cetera. What stood out to you?
Yeah, I certainly, I asked a question to Ross about the idea of naming rights to Ohio Stadium.
Yeah.
It was the same day that Arkansas had just announced that they had landed a deal with whatever the company was for their naming rights.
Credit union of some sort, yeah.
Yeah, it's still going to be Razorback Stadium, but it's whatever Razorback Stadium. So I wanted to ask him about that, and he made that comment earlier that the stadium's always under renovations, and certainly, they have to pay for that. But he alluded to the fact that, look, I know Ohio State fans aren't going to be excited to hear this, but the jersey patch is coming. Like that revenue stream is absolutely going to be explored, and ultimately it's going to land. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's, not the case by September 5th when Ohio State takes the field for the first time in 2026. But it doesn't sound like the naming rights kind of thing is anything on the horizon. He talks about with the stadium and looking at how they can upgrade all the mechanical things, and we know about the scoreboard upgrades that are coming and
new club.
And the prioritized seating. And then he did mention restroom renovations as well, which I know anybody who's spent any time in Ohio Stadium will be thrilled to hear about that, because there's probably no bigger need in that stadium than a better restroom situation.
He did make the point, naming rights for the stadium are not on the they're not even on the stove, much less on a burner at this point.
Correct. Yeah.
So, but you know what? The future is the future. We'll see how that holds.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, obviously, at the end of the day, things change. So, things are always evolving. And certainly he mentioned that Ohio State's very soon enough going to become the first $500 million operating budget. So when that's the case, again, circumstances change. But it doesn't appear that's anything that's on the horizon. I know that'll make everybody very happy.
Hey, Tito, $500 million, or put another way, $500 million.
That's the way to do it, too. Yes, you're right. And, people, the costs also, all this stuff fixed. Oh, but also just add more money to the payroll and to the coaches and everything. That's all we need. But find a way to do it. Just print money is all you got to do.
But that's what people think. The people think the money's growing in major college athletics. Right. It's growing on trees. It is not.
No. I mean, how much money can Tim May possibly give to athletic department. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's going to run out at some point.
When I put forth when UCLA and USC were joining,
yeah,
I said, "You're not going to have a beach volleyball team, you know?"
Right.
And Gene Smith said, "Yeah, Tim May can. If you can contribute the money for the stadium, we'll see what we can do."
Thanks so much for the time, Dylan. We appreciate it, buddy. Have a great weekend.
You as well. Thanks, fellas.
You bet. That was Dylan Davis there, Delaware Gazette, covers Ohio State football for them and among other things. But always love having him on the show when we can. Coming up next, you can make plans for the entire college football regular season because CBS Sports knows how the Big Ten will play out. We'll discuss that next. Fan Sports Saturday on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Spring cleaning is when homes get a new twinkle in their eye,
a new spring in their step,
a new color in their cheeks.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We'll be there before you hang up the phone.
When that shiny truck from 1-800-GOT-JUNK arrives at your house,
it's a sign of a new beginning,
a clean start,
a breath of fresh air.
When your home feels clean and happy,
the people inside feel clean and happy too.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit us at 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Relax and let Kroger Delivery handle your grocery shopping this week. We start with only the freshest items. Then carefully pack your order in our refrigerated trucks. And our cool trucks keep your food fresh right to your door. Fresh groceries your way with Kroger Delivery. And right now, you can save $20 on your first delivery order. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
When it's too hot to go out, it's definitely too hot for your AC to go out. The Waterworks Heating and Cooling Pros are here to help. We offer fast repair and AC replacement for any cooling system when you need it. Plus, we're a premier Lennox dealer and can install an energy-efficient system for a great price. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit us online at thewaterworks.com. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
Common Man and Timmy has been voted the dumbest show in America.
What size pant are you in? That's a Puma pants, and you know that it's wrong. It's a 38.
Here's a comment from a real listener. I just started listening to the stupid show. It's minimal sports discussion with large amounts of absolute nonsense.
Why don't you just put on a sundress and sashay around the town square?
Common Man and Timmy reaching new heights of stupid. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on The Fan, Ohio's nonsense destination.
Thinking about making the switch to hybrid or even all-electric? Germain Honda of Dublin has you covered. Explore the Honda hybrid lineup, including the Accord Hybrid, CR-V Hybrid, and Civic Hybrid. Or experience Honda's all-electric Prologue SUV. You'll get the efficiency you want, the reliability Honda is known for, and great offers available across the lineup. See why more Central Ohio drivers are choosing Honda electrified vehicles at Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road or online at germainhondaofdublin.com.
What can ADP do for small business? We help answer the business questions, like how do you track employee time? How do you do payroll taxes? Or what does compliance even mean? So small businesses can focus on bigger questions. Now florists can ask, can we invent another holiday to sell bouquets? Pizza shops can ask, how do we stuff a calzone into a pizza crust? And pool cleaners can ask, what is that thing in the filter? These are the questions you can focus on when ADP takes care of the business of your small business. ADP for small business.
Welcome back to That Lux Life. It's your boy, Will Winmore. Today's guest, the Millionaire Ball from the new Ohio Lottery Daily Draw game, Millionaire for Life. Hey-o! So if a player matches 5 numbers and the Millionaire Ball number, they win $1 million a year for life. Hey-o! Or $100,000 a year for life if they match just 5. Hey-o! Millionaire for Life is the game. Millionaire Ball is his name. Play Ohio's newest daily draw game for your chance to win for life. Players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Getting a speeding ticket can ruin your day. But what about that cyclist? Or the pedestrian crossing the street? If you hit them while speeding, you'll do more than just ruin their days. That's why tickets are more than just a fine. They're a second chance. A reminder of what's on the line when you're behind the wheel. You won't get a do-over every time. So take this as your sign to follow the speed limit every drive. Speeding slows you down. Paid for by NHTSA.
Need a roof you can count on? Ramos Roofing has protected homes and businesses throughout Ohio for almost 20 years. Whether it's a leaky roof, storm damage, new siding, or new gutters to protect your foundation, Ramos Roofing delivers quality materials, professional installation, and honest service every time. Get your free roof or exterior assessment today and ask about Ramos Roofing's no-interest financing options. Call 614-761-7663 or visit online at ramosroofingohio.com.
Summer's hot, but the day's still moving. Good thing Tim Hortons does cold so you can keep moving too. The morning commute, cool it down and keep it moving with a Tim Hortons iced coffee. Running errands in the afternoon heat, a blackberry citrus refresher can keep things cool while you get back to it. Picking up the kids from camp? Sounds like a s'mores ice cap could make the car line a whole lot cooler. Tim's does cold so you can refresh, recharge, and take full advantage of all that summer has to offer. Good thing Tim's does cold.
Blackberry citrus refresher contains a blend of juices from concentrate with sugar and other ingredients. Copyright Tim Hortons USA.
The Fan has a secret radio station. It's called The Fan 2. You can listen to the Bob and Tom Show, Jim Rome, and Buckeye stuff. Why do they pay me big money to whisper? The Fan 2 is on the Fan's HD2 channel and streaming on the Fan app. You're welcome. All your favorite Fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. We firmly believe it's appropriate to tailgate before a youth soccer game. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Tailgate for a youth soccer game. I may or may not have done that before. Tim May, have you ever tailgated for a youth soccer game?
No, but you know what? I used to, when my one son, Corey, played travel ball, I would, I think I started the idea of bringing a grill and occasionally grilling burgers for everybody.
Oh, there you go.
After a game.
Yeah.
After a game.
Right.
And enjoyed that. I mean, you know, you can have fun. Who cares if you tailgate before a youth soccer game? It's all about having fun.
It is all about having fun.
I'm not knocking it.
Just don't check the contents in my Yeti.
Exactly.
Which could mean a lot of different things. I'm not going to Urban Dictionary what that means. Tim, CBS Sports went through and predicted the records of every Big Ten team this year and got as specific as their wins and losses. For your Ohio State Buckeyes, they've got them at 10-2 overall for the season in the regular season, 8-1 in the Big Ten. The two losses coming at Texas, at Indiana. If this season played out that way.
Interesting. How much the world has changed.
Oh, God. You know, hey, it's changed right before your eyes more than anybody else's, probably because you saw the way Indiana. I mean, you saw them when they sucked. Then you saw them when they beat Earl Bruce and beat Cooper.
They beat Ohio State 2 years in a row.
Right.
And my Sunday morning story on the game was a new day has dawned in the Big Ten.
And so if this plays out this way.
I was premature.
You were also a little bit early on your article. But anyway,
that's what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Sorry, I forgot about the rim shot there.
We're getting really personal there.
Slow on the rim shot.
If Ohio State goes 10-2 overall, 2 losses at Texas, at Indiana, 8-1 in the Big Ten, do you think at that point, at the end of the season, this means Ohio State does beat Michigan to end the season, would that be considered, at that point at least, a satisfactory season?
Dude, it's all about making the playoffs now. Do they make the playoffs?
That will get them in, you think.
Yeah, they're in. They might get a bye.
Do you think that they'll look at it, though, and fans look at it and say, you know what, this was a really good regular season?
No, I mean, that's the point. Anytime you lose, it's like, that's why when you talk about this idea about a big, super mega conference, SEC and the Big Ten playing each other, and all the time and stuff, you know, the big time schools, the elite schools are used to winning 9, 10, 11 games a year.
Right.
And if they're suddenly going 7-5, is that good enough? No, it's not. It will not be good enough for the alums, et cetera, who are used to like ruling the roost. But, you know, times they are changing in college football. They have been for quite a while now. But, no, you want, you know, I got a buddy of mine, you know him. His name's Jeff Snook.
Mm-hmm.
Golly, man, he pines. He lives, and he can't hear me right now, but I tell him this all the time. And you're so retrospective in your whatever about the Buckeyes. Well, yeah, I'm a Buckeye fan, but boy, just think how good they could have been. They should have won 5 or 6 more national titles in the first quarter century of this current century. And you know what? He's right. They could have, right?
Yeah.
They could have been Alabama.
Sure.
In terms of record. They've still been damn good. And they've been in the picture almost every year in some form or fashion. So you can't do anything about the past. You move forward. But as long as now, dude, the thing now is getting into the playoffs.
It is.
Period.
I was going to say, if your regular season is lose to Texas, lose to Indiana, lose the Big Ten title game, you better win some playoff games.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
then it's another year of you didn't beat anyone.
You know, they went 12-0 last year and got beat by Indiana and then got beat by Miami.
Right.
The two teams that played for the national championship.
The two good teams they played, they lost to.
Well, if they beat Oregon's a good team this year. In that scenario, it's not like they wouldn't beat anybody.
They would have beaten Oregon once at home and then lost the second time.
Yeah, if they beat, so that's
Ball would get along well with my buddy Jeff Snook.
It might be one and the same. We're not even sure on that.
Exactly.
I've never seen the two of them together. But
me neither.
When you mentioned that teams are used to winning, 9, 10, 11 games, and I look at it the other way. Teams are used to losing 1 or 2 games, and we don't I don't know what this town would do if Ohio State lost 3 games in consecutive seasons or lost 4 games in one season. I'm not sure how. Because then, and Tim, you know,
I've been around when that's happened.
Hey, the 9 and 3 Earl Bruce years. And then we've seen the Lean Cooper years. Yeah. We know what it's like here. But
I know what it's in 2002, they won the national championship, right?
Right.
2004, they had a big drop off.
Yeah, they did.
A lot of things were going on. A lot of things dropped off. And I remember the editor of our paper saying, y'all need to ask tougher questions in the post game or whatever. And I'm just looking at him, cross-eyed, like, dude. What are you talking about? We're always asking about what's going on, what the failings were and all this kind of stuff. But it's almost like, get after this guy, I'm just going, things will turn. They always turn at Ohio State toward the better usually.
It is amazing. You said it before. It's like this is the golden era of Ohio State, the golden age, maybe you would have said, of Ohio State football. But it really is. And I remember, feeling spoiled sometimes during the Tressel years and the Urban years. But those, even like I said, even what's happened in the last, just like since Urban came here first, when he started winning there. I mean, it has never been, and no disrespect to Woody, but this is
68 through basically 76.
Yeah,
that was a golden
really good
run.
Yeah, it was.
But this has been a quarter century. Of. And then you add the 4 or 5 years under Cooper in the mid 90s.
Oh yeah,
up through 90. It's like I told you, Andy Castmore and Gary Barry and I were talking about that yesterday at that golf outing. Is that the golf scramble up in Ashland? It's like people don't realize how good.
Yeah,
those teams were really good, and you can't say that about Alabama,
right?
You can't say it about Georgia. I'm talking about going back that far.
Oh, they've all had bad coaching hires that set them back, Tim. That's something I say on the radio all the time in different shows. Like, every other school you want to look at.
Can't say it about Notre Dame?
No, right. Notre Dame with Jerry Faust and some of the others that came later on. But then, Michigan.
John Willingham.
Yeah, Michigan
Charlie
had some.
Weiss.
Michigan had some bad hires. Oklahoma with Gary Gibbs.
Yep.
Nebraska had some. Alabama, Mike Shula. All these other schools had.
Not just him.
Right,
Mike
I know.
Price.
Yes. All these other schools, though,
Roll Tide.
There were all these great.
It's rolling, baby.
Yes, all these great, blue bloods in the 60s, 70s, and 80s even. They all had catastrophic hires that set them back multiple years.
Yes.
The worst hire Ohio State's had, and I say this with all respect, since Woody Hayes was hired, was John Cooper. And by worst, I mean...
No.
Wait, you put Earl next? You put Earl?
Well, I mean, John Cooper's record. Look at John Cooper's the second winningest coach in Ohio State history.
I understand that. I'm not. All I'm saying is
I disagree with that.
Well, Bruce. So the reason Bruce looks better is because he beat Michigan more often than Cooper.
Well, he beat him. He was 5-4 against Michigan.
Right. Yeah. Plus 500 right against him, and he won a couple of big bowl games
John Cooper was 2-10-1 against.
Yeah,
Michigan.
The 2-10-1 is what really got him. Okay, then even it's Bruce. If Earl Bruce is your worst hire, if I could see that as your worst hire from 1951 on,
that's a hell of a hire.
9-3 every year, won some Big Ten championships, won some big bowl games. I know he, lost the Rose Bowl too, but if that right there, I'd put that up against any other school's worst hire since 1951.
Oh, no doubt about it.
I can't think of anybody else that would do it.
We're talking about 75 years, 76 years.
Yes.
Of, now Woody had his downturn back in the mid 60s?
Yeah, mid 60s.
Yeah, 61 through 67, and then they righted the ship and cruised on. Baby.
Yeah.
Cruised on up the Rhine.
It's
you ever taken one of those river cruises, by the way? I'm thinking about it. But anyway, but you're exactly right. I mean, Alabama, doesn't, a lot of the Alabama fans don't remember between Bear Bryant and Gene Stallings and between Gene Stallings and Nick Saban.
Yeah, right.
And they got rid of Gene Stallings because they almost ran him off because he wins a national championship, and then all of a sudden being in the hunt wasn't good enough. You had to go get the Fox.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I just give it up to Ryan Day, Urban Meyer, Jim Trussell, and John Cooper.
And John Cooper, yeah.
And even Earl. Earl took over for Woody Hayes.
It went undefeated the first year until the Rose Bowl game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny, Paul Brown even, I'm thinking about that Ring of Honor right now.
Yeah.
Paul Brown, left to go to World War II just like Jim Trussell's dad did.
Yeah.
And when he was available again back in 50 after Wes Fessler quit, was forced out, whatever you want to call it, they didn't want to hire him.
Right.
They went, Woody was a compromise candidate.
Was that a tough press conference to you when Wes Fessler was let go?
Not really, because I really wasn't even there.
Oh, I thought you were there.
I wasn't even a gleam then. 54 was my glory. Matter of fact, the first national championship for Woody Hayes.
That was 54. Was
54 is the year I was born.
I just picture saying, "Hey, Wes, one more question, real quick, just one more, one more. Hey, is this really what you want to do?
Are you really quitting?
Right, that's what I think would happen there. Oh God, coming up top of the hour,
quickie. Just give me a quickie.
Just one more. Just one more. Then ask 3 questions. That's Tim May for you. Coming up next, it's never too early to look at a future draft. Could a Buckeye Hooper go in the top 10 in 2027? We'll do that after the Sports Center update from Nate right here on Fan Sports Saturday.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
That's the sound of Ellie De La Cruz stealing third. That's the sound of you stealing third. Right now at UDF, buy any 2 bottled beverages and get the third one free with Ellie Steals Third. Now at United Dairy Farmers. Some restrictions may apply.
At Logan Services, we're more than heating and air. We're a family-owned business that puts people first. For decades, we've built our reputation on honesty, hard work, and treating your home like it's our own. From the first phone call to the final handshake, you'll work with a caring, local team that shows up on time and does the job right. Because comfort isn't about temperature, it's about integrity. Logan Services, family-owned, people-focused, and proud to serve its customers.
Dip it, dunk it, smother it. It's queso gone wild at Hothead Burritos. Try our new loaded potatoes covered in queso and topped off with hardwood smoked bacon, burritos, bowls, nachos, and more. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some queso.
Everybody thinks they're a great driver. Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you the chance to prove it. Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's iconic tracks right here in Grandview. Race your friends, join a league, or bring the office out for an unforgettable corporate event. And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great food and drinks here or next door at Agave and Rye. Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who's got what it takes. Book your race today at outlawsimracing.com.
Not everybody's cut out for this kind of work. At Newman Roofing, we look for people who care about the details. The kind of people who show up early, work hard, and take real pride in what they build. Because to us, your home isn't just another job site or paycheck, it's your peace of mind. That's why our crews aren't just trained, they're invested in their craftsmanship, in their communication, in their customers. At Newman Roofing, we don't believe in cutting corners to save a buck. We believe in doing the work the right way, with quality materials, experienced professionals, and a level of care you can actually feel. It's the reason so many of our customers come back to us time and time again. And they recommend us to the people they love the most. Roofing, siding, gutters, whatever your home needs, trust the company built on family values and hard work. Newman Roofing. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
I'm Nate Putterbaugh, their sports update. The first round of the NHL draft was last night with the 14th overall pick. The Blue Jackets selected Boston College forward Oscar Hemming. The draft continues today. The Blue Jackets have 6 more picks beginning in the 3rd round. The Cincinnati Reds beat the Pirates last night 6-4 on the back of a 2-run shot from Noelvi Marte in the 8th inning. They square off again today at 4:05. Catch the action right here on The Fan. The Guardians fell at home last night to the Seattle Mariners 3-1. The Guardians have now lost 4 of their last 5. They try to get back on track tonight at 7:10. Late last night at the World Cup, Egypt beat Iran 1-0 to advance past the group stage for the first time, and Belgium blew out New Zealand 5-1. Busy day at the World Cup today. Croatia faces Ghana, and Panama squares off with England at 5. Colombia and Portugal and Congo and Uzbekistan face off at 7:30, and Algeria and Austria, along with Jordan and Argentina in the nightcap. Breaking sports news and what happens to The Fan, Ohio Sports Destination.
Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean we shut up. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Fan Sports Saturday. Tito, Tim May, Nate with you. Heard on the update there. Ohio State basketball. Go ahead. Let me get you there. You got
Nate Putterball.
There we go. Putterball. That's right. Ohio State basketball is in a fun spot right now, I think. Coming off an NCAA tournament appearance. And by the way, going forward, and I love Jake Diebler, but in a 78-team field, you can't miss a tournament again.
Nope.
Not that they would this year. I love this team this year. And they picked up L.J. Smith, who reclassified and will be joining the team this year as a 6'4" guard who in his sophomore year averaged 33 points a game, then transferred to a more competitive environment and still had a great year last year. I think it was in Virginia he played last year. But you have him added into there, and there's a lot of talk about how much depth they have at the guard position, which is huge. They got Pippen's kid in here. You got Junie Mobley coming back, and Mobley's all excited about this season. And you have Amari Bynum. You looked at the way he played at the end of last season, how much better he got as the year went on. Well, the 2027, a couple of mock drafts have come out already, one on The Athletic, one on ESPN. And they both have incoming freshman, 5-star Anthony Thompson, who is 6'9", playing for Ohio State this year, part of this great movement coming in of young studs. And they both have him going in the first round of next year's draft. On the one for The Athletic / New York Times, they have him going. I'm trying to find what the exact spot was now. They had him going, I think, like near the end of the first round on that one. Then I saw the one on ESPN, and the one on ESPN has him going 9th overall to the Washington Wizards. And the comments on this one on the ESPN, Thompson's excellent shooter with great size and length who can man either forward spot, fitting a valuable long-term NBA mold. Scouts want to see greater consistency and improved motor. He missed the cut. The Team USA's U18 trials in May, but the demand for shooters with size keeps him in front of mind as a player to watch in the fall.
They said, got that caliber player, baby.
Yes. And
if you get him for 1 year, you get him for 1 year, and you ring him out.
And that's it. Yes, I hate the fact, hate's a strong word. I shouldn't say I hate it. I used to love it in college basketball when guys would play more than, play there for 3 years or whatever, and before they would leave, like when Jim Jackson was here and things like that, Clark Kellogg as well.
Yeah.
And you got to know the players. You get to know the players pretty well then. And we don't get that now as much, and it's just the way of the world. I can't sit here and keep it's like, shaking my fist at the cloud on that. But the fact that they're able to get players like, by the way, The Athletic had Thompson going 8th. I was wrong on that one. 8th overall as far as prospects go. But it's a double-edged sword, I know. But if you can get, the one good year, I mean, think of the other guys that came through in the past that, stuck around for just the 1 year. Malachi, when he came through. And then when you had, D'Angelo Russell also. But Ohio State's got 2 5-star recruits. The 2 highest recruits, 2 top, like these guys are the 2 highest recruits they've had at the same time in the same class. Since I think it was Buford and who was the other one in that mix? I think it was Buford, one of them. It might have been the other kid, big tall guy.
Drawing a blank.
I know
what you're talking about. But the bottom line is, this is what's interesting right now anymore is Ohio State wants to be better than it was a year ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, I think it was Adam Jardy asked the question, from the Dispatch about how does Bjork feel they rank? And I think what he meant was in terms of just backing, for the basketball program
right.
compared to other Big Ten schools. And Ross basically said, you never know what the real numbers are when it comes to other schools and what they're doing. Like Illinois. Illinois made a concerted effort. And obviously Michigan has, even though they just lost their head coach, Dusty May, and there's some question about maybe some of the stuff that was going on up there in terms of getting some of that talent that made up that national championship team. But the bottom line is they put the pieces together. They assembled the pieces and put the pieces together and got it done. But, there's a lot of hearsay that goes on around NIL things, around cuts from the revenue sharing aspect of things. Because, the pecking order in revenue sharing, for example, at Ohio State, there are 4 teams involved, but the pecking order clearly is football by far.
And football the top 2?
And then men's basketball,
right.
And then women's basketball, and then women's volleyball.
Right.
And so the key is, I think the emphasis there, Ross basically said he thinks they fare very well in terms of just what you're trying to put together by word of mouth, et cetera. But this is what's interesting about college basketball anymore, even more than football. And I say this knowing that Ohio State's got 51 new players on his football team compared to this time a year ago. That's stunning.
Do you know how many they had roughly a year ago? Do you know the number?
No, I don't remember the number, but I'm just saying 51 is a stunning number. And it's almost half your roster because you can have a roster of 105 now. But with basketball every year for these big-time schools or trying to be big-time schools it's like you've assembled a jigsaw puzzle, put it in the box, gotten the pieces, and now you got to open that box down, put those pieces together, and sometimes they don't fit. They don't juxtapose the way you would like them to.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the challenge now is from year to year, almost starting over roster-wise and getting the pieces in the right order, in the right place, and going about getting a championship or making a run for a championship. And, even with the amount of money, whatever the amount of money is that Ohio State is spending on basketball, including NIL situations, I think it's adequate. It's best, maybe the best term of using. You can always have more money, right? But the bottom line is, the coaches, it's on the coaches to put the pieces together. And Coach Diebler shook his staff a little bit,
right,
since last year, and we'll see where it goes. But I like Jake Diebler. I think he's a sharp cookie, and I think he understands what's going on. But you gotta, the machinery's got to keep going every year on this new way of doing things. Like Mark Pantoni with the football team got the thing going. I mean, they shook up everything when it came to Ohio State football. I mean, they've run the gamut from having almost everybody who mattered coming back 2 years ago when they won a national championship to now 51 new players. I mean, that's not easily done. And you don't always get all the guys you want, and the guys you get don't always turn out. Like Ethan Anianwa, I'm not knocking him. He didn't live up to what you thought he was going to be on the offensive line last year. Spent a lot of money on him.
Right.
In a couple of fashions. But the bottom line is you got to keep trying. And that's what I like about this team. I think they understand that with the basketball team especially. They know who they're playing every year. Yeah. They know those guys are going out and trying to do the same things. So I just think this is going to be a very interesting part of the experiment this coming season because they look really good. And like you said, they've got a guy coming in who looks really good according to everybody I've talked to who's watched him. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
And he's young, but you can build around a 5-star and make things happen. So you want to bring him along. You want to start leaning on him in January and February, not November and December.
When you got a 5-star like that, you said build around, and that's true. But in addition, you can't build around him long term, but getting a 5-star, if you can do it as well,
long term doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, but if you can show, hey, I got a 5-star here, went one and done, and got drafted in the top 10,
amen,
that helps your next chance of getting a 5-star right there.
The billboard,
yes,
outside,
it's great PR.
Outside Columbus, Ohio, would promote that.
And so Diebler, and I'm with you. Look, Diebler Diebler's caught some flack. They missed the tournament in the first full year, whatever he was doing. If they missed that, before this past season. But Diebler, though, if you look at it, it's gotten better. He's gotten better since he started. And look, there was some learning on the job for him.
But
you know what I mean?
They knew it was going to be just with Ryan Day. They knew there was going to be some learning on the job.
And as far as I would say that 2 years ago, not last year was good, but 2 years ago they really struck out in the transfer portal.
Yeah, but let's look back a couple of years ago when Diebler got hired. Yeah. Well, when everybody said they missed on Dusty May.
Right.
Where's Dusty May now?
I know, and that's the thing. What about with Ohio State fans? I brought this up the other day, and I just said, would Ohio State fans still would they like the 2 years of Dusty May,
my third cousin?
Right. Okay.
No,
exactly.
I'm just making that up.
And of course, and then the response I got back from a couple people was, well, yeah, but he got him a national title. I would take 2 years of that with the national title, and I'd be fine with that, and then make another hire. Maybe so.
But when you hire him, you're not thinking that.
You're not thinking that at all. But
you're thinking national title and then another one.
Diebler did better last year in the portal. He did the year before.
Yes.
And this year, I feel like it's been a more concerted effort on like a more it's more streamlined as far as what they want to do, more direct on what they want to do, more strategy involved in it. And so Diebler keeps getting better. And the fact he got this class coming in now, they got the LJ Smith kid who's reclassifying. The name I couldn't think of, by the way, was BJ Mullins. That's he and Buford were the last time Ohio State had two top 8 recruits, I believe, or two. That's two highest rated guys they've had since then together. Let me see what it was. It's the first time since 2000. It's Ohio State's tying 2 5-star prospects in the same class. That's what it is. And Thompson, by the way, is the 4th highest rated prospect in the modern recruiting era to sign with the Buckeyes behind Oden, B.J. Mullins, and Jared Sullinger. The Buckeyes this year also
should have been. Go ahead.
I know he should have been.
Oh my goodness, was he good?
Ohio State this year, though, they've made the schedule tough again, or tougher than they did last year. Their non-conference schedule. I mean, obviously the Big Ten schedule's tough as hell to begin with.
Yeah.
But the fact they've got playing Kansas, BYU, they're playing Vanderbilt, and I looked at the Athletics mock first round for the top recruits for top players for next year's draft, and potentially next year's draft, and there's 10 players on that list on the first round that Ohio State goes against this season, and some of them twice with Michigan guys. But yeah, so it's going to be a tough season. A tough schedule.
Put a focus on those guys and shut them down.
Go the Izzo route. Go the Izzo route, and just schedule really hard in the non-conference, get you ready for the conference schedule, and then the tough-ass conference schedule gets you ready for the tournament and the postseason, which they will be in this upcoming season. Coming up next, another disappointing event for a former OSU football recruit. We'll do that. Fan Sports Saturday on the Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Delaware County Veterans Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of veteran county veteran service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment, facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veterans Services a call. 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veterans Services.
This is 100% employee owned now. It gives them a sense of pride.
It's always been a family business. We've benefited as owners from the work of all of these great employees for so long. Well, now everybody's an owner, so now everybody has a stake. It really is the culmination of the family business. The family just got bigger. We all know there's a difference between working for a paycheck and working for something that belongs to you.
Call Rizzotti today at 777-4806.
Hey, it's Timmy Hall for Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice, Orthopedic One. Couple years ago, I felt like I was breezing through life. I was tearing through rounds of golf, and it hit me. Excruciating hip pain. Hip that would not go away until I saw my friends at Orthopedic One. Then, bye-bye pain. So if you're dealing with constant pain or you suffered an injury, start with the specialist. Start at orthopedic1.com. There's no referral required, and there's several convenient locations in Central Ohio. Schedule your appointment at orthopedic1.com.
Join T-Bone and Tybus mornings on the Fan for football, food, and fun, featuring T-Bone.
Now, when you were talking about the football stuff, I was listening, but when you said Waffle House, I leaned forward in my chair.
And national champ Tybus Powell.
I was staring myself in the mirror for a good 10 minutes today looking at it.
Where they solve all the world's complex problems.
We're not putting the toothpaste back in the toothpaste container.
Sponsored by Capital Ford of Columbus.
Football, food, and fun with T-Bone and Tybus. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on The Fan.
Scotty Vegas here, and my wife caught me in the garage just staring at my beautiful new Bronco from Krieger Ford. I mean, I'm in love. The buying process at Krieger Ford was amazing. Quick, no pressure, fun, in and out so fast I couldn't believe it. I was prepared to spend all day looking at cars. Instead, I got my shiny new red Bronco out of the showroom in no time. If you're looking for a new car for the summer, visit Krieger Ford on Morse Road. Krieger Ford is my winning bet. Visit KriegerFord.com today.
Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible, but Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
It's time for sun and savings at Great Lakes Hyundai. Right now, get a new 2060 Elantra SE for $59 per month for a 2-year lease. Just $59 a month for the drive into summer sale. This month only. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Dublin or Columbus or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit $39.95 down plus tax title first month payment. 7,500 miles per year and 76.
Summer's hot, but the day's still moving. Good thing Tim Hortons does cold so you can keep moving too. The morning commute, cool it down and keep it moving with a Tim Hortons iced coffee. Running errands in the afternoon heat, a blackberry citrus refresher can keep things cool while you get back to it. Picking up the kids from camp? Sounds like a s'mores ice cap could make the car line a whole lot cooler. Tim's does cold so you can refresh, recharge, and take full advantage of all that summer has to offer. Good thing Tim's does cold.
Blackberry citrus refresher contains a blend of juices from concentrate with sugar and other ingredients. Copyright Tim Hortons USA.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Aaron, happy Father's Day month.
You know what, Jerry? I grew up with a single mom, so it's always been important to me to be the best dad I could be.
You install air conditioners in people's homes, Aaron. That literally makes you the cool dad. Get it?
Get Eco.
ECO.
Did you just call a guy with an HVAC company a cool dad? That really is a dad joke.
Get Eco.
ECO. A cool dad like you can install a new air conditioner that makes the whole family cool.
Well, a really cool dad would repair the air conditioner they have.
And leave more money for Father's Day presents.
With our AC Repair Buyback program, we'll even credit you any money you spend on the repairs against the purchase of a new system, if you change your mind and replace it.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hypothetically, Aaron, what does a guy like yourself look for in a necktie?
I don't wear ties, Jerry, and I'm certainly not your dad.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and cool dad HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Bishop and Friends.
You felt confident in that one because you've always had a very elite ability to mount men dating back to your time at DeSales.
There's nothing wrong with wrestling.
Bishop and Friends, sponsored by Diamond Seller.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We saw some rain this morning, and it will return later this afternoon with a little bit of a break for some sunshine. It will be humid today, and it will continue into the later parts of this week. Rain chances return late tonight with some heavier rain in some of our southern counties, but that leads into a warm Sunday tomorrow with isolated showers throughout the afternoon. I'm your 10 Weather Impact meteorologist, Lily Aldrich, with 97.1 The Fan.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. Instead of annoying national people talking to you this weekend, we've opted for annoying local people. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Fan Sports Saturday. Make sure you stick around. Next segment, John Gerber is going to join us, our golf betting expert, talk about what's going on the PGA this week, how his bets are looking. And I say this, look, I'm going to tell you, Tim, normally I know you being the ace reporter that you are.
Yeah, right.
I mean that sincerely. You're one of those guys who probably doesn't ask a question that he doesn't already have an idea what the answer is. that fair?
No, that's not always true because, the great thing about asking questions in press conferences a lot is you want to know what the answer is. But, yeah, most of the time you have an idea what somebody's going to say. But as I used to say about Urban, don't ask him a question you don't want to hear the answer to.
So, Nate, if you notice right there, I said to Tim, you being a great reporter, you'll ask a question that you just question you know the answer to. That was me asking a question. I thought the answer would be yes, that's true. And what did he say?
You did not know the answer.
I didn't know the answer. So I think I further proved my point. A good reporter would know it. A bad radio DJ guy, sports guy, asked a question just now to somebody about that exact subject, and he told me.
The main thing you want to know is what is that guy thinking about that particular subject at that moment. That's what you want to know. Because otherwise, I guess people care about what we think about that particular subject. But But a guy like Ryan Day, for example, with all that's going on in major college sports, I've told him a couple times, you need to be keeping notes for a book because he is, he and Kirby Smart and maybe a couple others are rewriting the book about what being a major college head coach is all about because it's crazy. What they have gone through in the last 6 years.
Oh, yeah. Where I was going with that initially was I was going to tell you, we'll talk to John Gerber about his bets. I have not checked his bets for the weekend to see if he'd make
gotcha.
So I might ask him that question without knowing the answer because he could say, you know what, I'm having a bad weekend, or he could say, you know what, I'm on fire. And so I'm asking that question live on the air.
Enlightenment.
Yes, that's what I'm doing there. But I wanted to talk to you about Chaz Coleman, Tim. And Chaz Coleman, Ohio State recruited him out of high school, Ohio guy.
Yeah.
Central Ohio guy, right? Central Ohio? I don't know. Anyway.
Bottom line, see, you asked a question you know the answer to there.
That's why.
Bottom line is he went to Penn State.
And played 9 games there as a freshman. This would have been 2 years ago. Had 1 sack, forced fumble, 15 pressures, and 70 pass rushing situations, according to Pro Football Focus. He went there, and when Jim Knowles also went to Penn State but then Coleman, he committed to Penn State. They obviously Penn State last year did not go the way that Penn State wanted football season to go, hence why they fired James Franklin. And Jim Knowles goes to Tennessee to be the DC. Chaz Coleman transfers to Tennessee. Supposedly, he was expected. Ohio State talked to him again. I don't know how serious they were about getting him, but they did talk to him again when he was transferring. But he was expected to earn elite defensive line monies, according to The Athletic, in the $2 million range. Now, he rarely did anything with the football program here in this offseason. Did not participate in many of the things. There was times when they didn't know necessarily where he was or why he wasn't at the facility. And there was talk about him being homesick, talk about him dealing with vertigo. I'm not sure what the truth was. But even though he's still on scholarship, Tennessee did medically disqualify him after this, what they call the turbulent spring. So he is still on scholarship at Tennessee. He could eventually rejoin the Volunteers. Not sure if he's getting paid because, according to The Athletic here, it said most, if not all, college athletes do not collect on revenue-sharing deals when they're away from the team. Chaz Coleman has got a lot going on, apparently, and it feels to me like Ohio State dodged a bullet here.
Yeah, I'm not going to go so far as to say that. You never know what's going on with a young man in all kinds of ways. I mean, there have been many instances where Ohio State has recruited guys who showed up and missed home immensely.
Right.
And then competition rolls in, and then they decide, maybe it's time to get up and go and find maybe not greener pastures, but a better pasture. And so you just hope he gets whatever's going on with him. You hope he gets it straight.
Absolutely, yes. And I do hope for that. I'm just saying, he went to, by the way, Warren G. Harding High School is where he went. So he went to Harding up there. But it seems to me that I wish I knew if it was, and maybe the reason he did not transfer here. Okay, if it was a money thing or if Ohio State decided it wasn't going to be a good fit, I wasn't sure on that.
Well, it could have been the other way. He may have looked at Ohio State and said, and looked at the competition he's going to be going against. It's big time at Ohio State now. It's kind of like going to almost an NFL team, NFL light, when it comes to who you got to beat out to play.
Am I correct in assuming that this program? I know there's, like you mentioned, there are occasions when someone will show up and either get homesick or competition, they go somewhere else and all that. but it feels like Ohio State to me, on the outside looking in, doesn't miss on, I know you mentioned the offensive lineman last year, but they don't miss dramatically on many transfers.
Well, I mean, Ryan Day's point when it comes to transfer portal is you don't bring somebody in for a body. You bring a guy in that will enhance it, be at least as good as what you've got, if not better.
Right.
So the other way of doing it is wasting money, time, and effort. And because you want the best you can get, you want somebody to enhance the roster, enhance the competition at the position, and possibly play for you and help you win a national championship. So that's their motto. That's their credo. You don't have time to waste on guys that aren't good enough, for want of another term.
And I don't feel like
by not good enough can also mean, how is this guy going to fit in from a culture standpoint, from a chemistry standpoint? Is you don't want to babysit people anymore. Well, and you have in the past, in every major sport, you have in the past, and there's no time for babysitting anymore if you're not serious about what's going on and you don't want to be a part of it all. I mean, just think about John Walker and James Smith, the way they came in, man. They this year, this January, those guys embraced what was going on.
Yeah.
They also, their eyes were open to what's expected.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's great about, if you want to, the word is culture, whatever you want to call it. What's great about Ohio State is the player's own hand, like Edric Houston and these other guys, like in the defensive line room, for example, these are the expectations of workouts, of attendance at meetings, of getting your work done individually. And then on the practice field, there's no slack. I mean, Mickey Marotti is not a babysitter.
Right.
He would be the guy you wouldn't hire for a babysitter, because he expects you to not only be there, but to be working to get better every moment you're there. This isn't falderall when it comes to promoting the Ohio State football program. That's the way it is now.
Right.
And so they are very meticulous about getting the info on guys they recruit, even in the transfer portal. You could knock on the door, but that doesn't mean Ohio State's going to let you in. It's a good point. It's a good place to be for a program. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
it's not always like that everywhere.
It reminds me, Tim, of, to a certain extent, the way that Mike Krzyzewski used to run Duke, where a lot of people wanted to get there.
Yeah.
But he wasn't. He was very selective, and you could be more selective with that roster size.
After he got it going?
Yes, once he got it going.
I mean, Duke was pretty good before Krzyzewski, as people may not remember. But when he got that program rolling, I mean, it was destination.
I don't remember who told me this story from the Dispatch, but I was told that you remember Chris Quinn, the basketball player from Dublin, Kaufman, I think it was, went on a visit to Duke or something and talked to Coach K. And again, this is something somebody told me. I can't remember which reporter it was, but said that when Krzyzewski sat down with Chris Quinn, he said something to the effect, and I'm paraphrasing all of this here from memory, but we only go after the top-rated player at each position.
Yeah.
And we have you number 2 on our list.
Yeah.
And
straightforward.
Yeah, it's like, and that's the way I feel like Ohio State could be. Ohio State can be that way now.
But Ohio State's gotten very, even more selective when it comes to offering scholarships. Because now, with the portal, you can fix mistakes that you had in a recruiting class. You know, if you're savvy about it. But you don't want to leave people alone, but you want to be in the mix. For a big time player from the get. As soon as you can identify, you can kind of visualize or figure out how this guy is going to grow, but you're never really sure from like the kid they just got out of California that committed to the 2029 class. You think he's going to keep progressing.
Right.
But, so you want to be in on that from the get-go. And I think they've done a very good job of identifying those things. And they've gone wholesale back to, I thought it was going to be another way around, but the last 2 years, like Tony Gerdeman pointed out, these 2 years, 26 and 27, they will have signed 11 or 12 offensive linemen. That's
amazing. Yeah.
To the incoming classes.
Right.
So I thought it was going to go a little bit different when the transfer portal came around, that you would wait and see where guys developing, like an Ethan Anianwa, like at Rice.
Yeah.
And then when he hits the portal, if he does, go after him.
Yeah.
Because now he's a mature offensive lineman.
College tape
that
on
you don't have to, like, for one of the term, run through the factory. Right. And now, but I think they're finding, once you can get a buffer in the room in terms of numbers,
right,
then you can, like, do this development program again. And boy, offensive and defensive linemen, those are still the core of what makes you a good or great football team.
Folks, you heard all that. I know you're like, wow.
No, but that's true.
Wait. That's what. If you go check out the Tim May show on FanStream Sports, he has Clay Hall on with him normally, and then he'll have a variety of guests on there as well. And you get that kind of Ohio State football insight from the king of the keyboard, the prince of the pencil. What else can I say about you? Because you've been doing it since 1984 at Ohio State.
I hate the keyboard anymore. So
I know you do. I know.
You can just say
you do the voice that you're all about.
You can say a voice for face for radio and a voice for TV, a voice for newspaper.
There we go. Coming up next, folks, our golf betting expert John Gerber is going to join us. Tell us what's going on in the PGA this week and what he might have in store for us for the U.S. Senior Open next week. We'll do that. Fan Sports Saturday.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
At ADP, we know you want your landscape business to succeed, but we don't know anything about landscaping. ADP only knows how to handle the business of your small business. So if ADP focuses on the payroll and the HR, while you focus on the land and the scaping, success should follow. Just don't expect us to know all about Kentucky bluegrass, zero-turn cutting, or what to do with a woodchuck. That's for you to figure out. Let ADP help your small business focus on the part of the business you're good at. ADP for small business.
Welcome back to Yeah, That's a Pepper Thing. First up, we've got Harrison wrapping his Dr. Pepper in a tiny quilt so it feels at home. Oh, how tender. That's a Pepper Thing. And over to Becca, who's whispering affirmations to her can.
You're sweet. You're unique. You're the best thing I ever poured over ice.
She swears it makes it taste better. It's not a science thing, but it's a Pepper Thing. Why do they all do it? All for that sweet, delicious, truly one-of-a-kind taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a Pepper Thing.
Grilling season starts now at Billiards Plus. Shop top-of-the-line grills and turn every cookout into a win. Then bring the fun inside with pool tables, shuffleboard, and more. Everything for the ultimate game room. Billiards Plus. Grills, games, and good times. Online or on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Common Man and Timmy. Voted America's dumbest show by Marconi voters. Common Man is a Columbus radio legend. And by legend, I mean it's a miracle he hasn't been fired yet. And Timmy is, well, Timmy will complain about anything and everything. And he kind of looks like a woman. Giggity, giggity, giggity. So there's that. Common Man and Timmy.
Sponsored by Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on The Fan. We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Fan Sports Saturday. Tito, Tim, Nate, and now we are joined on the Bryant Heating and Cooling System Fan Guest Hotline, our golf betting expert. He is the co-host of the From the Rough podcast on FanStream Sports. At Jay Gerber PGA Pro is where you can find him for all his picks. And Gerb, I mentioned this in the last segment. I'm going to ask you this question without knowing the answer to it yet. How are you doing on your bets this weekend?
Good afternoon, fellas. Not bad. We're looking pretty good, except I'm about over Scotty Scheffler, just launching up the leaderboard, shooting 60s and things like that. He wears me out. Scotty Scheffler's a lose-lose, right? And it's weird for people to say that, but he's only won one time this year on the PGA Tour, but he can certainly wreck some cards when you talk about golf betting. But we're looking solid. We have Eric Cole that sits there 4 shots back, leading after the first round. He's our ham sandwich long shot pick at 90-1. So I think he's going to continue to play well. This is a golf course. It's the shortest golf course on the PGA Tour. So we build our card around, not necessarily the longest hitters, but guys that are really solid and really good putters and plays a lot of golf. So Eric Cole certainly fit that mold. We got a couple other guys that look good. Tom Hoagie plus 550 to finish in the top 20. He sits there around 35th. He had a tough day yesterday. and Corey Connors. If I think he's used like 14 putters this week because he keeps breaking putters, and we have him in the top 10 at plus 625. So I like the card this week. We just need Scotty Scheffler to cool off a little bit, or whatever Scotty Scheffler does to just kind of decompress, because he's wearing us out.
See, I would disagree with you, Gerb, because bottom line, I think Scotty Scheffler stirs the drink, but he doesn't finish the drink. You know what I mean? That's been his modus operandi since he won early with the American Express or whatever it was. But he's in the mix. But now a keen insight guy like yourself now has to find that guy. Like the U.S. Open last week, that's going to rule the roost in the final exam. Because I would think, I wasn't getting to talk to you last week and stuff, but with Scotty sitting there in the last group, along with Wyndham Clark, even though he was 6 shots back or whatever it was, I would think there was probably a lot of action on Scotty Scheffler. Where did you go in terms of recommendations, et cetera, on that, and how'd you fare?
Yeah, we stayed off of Scotty Scheffler. I mean, there was probably a lot of people on him, but we always look at the card as value.
Yeah.
And Scotty Scheffler there's never any value on Scotty Scheffler. If you bet him at the beginning of the week, you can't make any money on him. And then when you put him in a situation where he was, a few shots back, he was still the betting favorite to win the tournament, which was extremely weird.
Yes.
So, Scotty Scheffler's little issue is his first round averages for him was out of the 4 rounds. That was his worst scoring average, but now he puts himself in a position to where his third round scoring average is his best scoring round average for him in a 4-round tournament. So
Clutch.
He sits in the seat. Well, he's so far back usually sometimes after the first round, he just goes and fires at things. And, if you can get past his whining and crying sometimes, just like the Dallas boys are, Jordan Spieth, me living in Dallas, I'm around it a lot. So Jordan Spieth and Scotty Scheffler, I don't know if it's in the water down there that they want to cry all the time, but it certainly is one of those things that you got to get past. But, I don't think Scotty Scheffler is going to fade today, but you're looking at a golf course that, it lends more low scores than any golf course on the PGA Tour. So he's going to have to keep his foot down if he's going to keep that lead. And I hope certainly he does not. That place is pretty hilly, so I hope he's able to kind of maybe sprain an ankle walking up some of those hills or something. Might be the only chance we have this week with Eric Cole sitting there at 90-1. Hey, listen, Scotty Scheffler's never sent me a check in my life, so I'm not going to root for him when I'm not betting him either. So we'll go that route.
I hear you. But, yesterday, of course, was preferred lies, so you got to figure Scotty is going to excel with preferred lies, correct?
Yeah, anytime those guys can touch it, and, you have some of those mud balls, probably the right thing to do. I'm not sure if they're going to play it today.
Me neither.
Clean in place. I don't think they are. They try to stay away from that if at all possible.
Right.
So, regardless, generous fairways, you got to stay out of the rough. Lift clean in place, if it plays firm and fast, it's a little bit different. They can roll in the rough, but I think it's playing soft enough. Even if they don't play preferred lies, he's still going to be a factor.
So you're going with almost an unknown is what you're leaning toward, an almost unknown as opposed to Scotty Scheffler. So I see.
I'm going to ride my Seabiscuit there, Eric Cole at 90-1.
Yeah.
Right, he's the underdog. I'm riding the little guy this week, and what else can I do? Our card's already in. We do have one matchup today. We're going to take Eric Cole plus 115 over Akshay Bhatia. Hardest thing on the PGA Tour is the follow up a really low round with another low round, unless you're Scotty Scheffler. So maybe Akshay Bhatia will fade a little bit. I just think Eric Cole, this golf course is perfect for him, trying to get his first win. And I like where he's at.
If I had to name a guy I really watch play right now the last couple of years, it is Akshay Bhatia. I like the way he plays, goes about his business. He doesn't look like he should be as good as he is. He swings from the wrong side of the tee, right on down the line. But I really like him a lot. Real quick, who do you like in the Senior Open this coming week here at Scioto, where it's going to be in the mid to high 90s all week long?
Wow, it's going to be a really good event. If you look at the Senior Open, the last time they had it there in 2016, That's 10 years ago. So there's a handful of guys that's playing this year that played 10 years ago. The 10 years ago, if you're 50 back then, now you're 60, and it's a hard golf course. The senior guys are really that aren't used to walking every single week in a hard golf course. 2016, 3 under won the golf tournament. Gene Sowers at 3 under. I mean, that's the way the USGA won it. So I'm kind of lending to some guys that, maybe are just turned 50, that are kind of getting their feet wet on the Champions Tour now, like a guy like Ben Crane, who's extremely fit. Look at the guys who are extremely fit.
Right.
It's going to be a factor, especially with the weather is going to be as warm as it is. And I'll give you a wild card guy. I also like Alex Chaikin next week, one of the fittest guy on the Champions Tour. He's a grinder. You're not going to have to shoot 10 under. The stat that I really look at next week is total driving. Scioto Country Club, it's an old school 100-year-old golf course, which I love, but the golf hole starts from the tee on. So total driving is going to be the biggest key, I think, for next week. Even though Stuart Sink leads the Champions Tour in total driving, that's going to be something. But again, there's value. You can't make any money on him in betting. But look, here's a guy that I really like that sits at number 5 on total driving on the Champions Tour that just turned 50 last year is Bo Van Pelt.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Van Pelt's an Indiana guy, even though he did go to Oklahoma State, lived in Dallas for a long time, but he's used to that type of grass. And when he played the PGA Tour, he was one of the best drivers of the golf ball on the PGA Tour. So maybe we'll lend our cards to guys who are 50, 51 that are just still in pretty good shape, used to walking on the PGA Tour, and that now transitions into the Champions Tour, because I think fatigue is going to be a big factor when I see the weather going to be 95, 100 degrees. That's a big deal, especially with the guys that are used to, having golf carts. Now they have to walk 72 holes.
John, we'll get you out in this one, buddy. By the way, Sowers is in the field again this year. He won it 10 years ago. You're right about that. We had a conversation before. We were talking about how at the U.S. Open, after the first 2 days, they made the greens a little bit faster there. And we were wondering, how does that compare to what they'll do with the Senior U.S. Open? Like, as far as the green speed and things like that, and will they adjust it normally, or like we're just trying to get a read on how much different, if at all, is that from the regular U.S. Open?
It won't be. I don't think it's going to be nearly as fast, and here's why. The undulations at Shinnecock are certainly a lot more. So in terms of speed, it's going to be a little bit different. Now, Scioto redid the golf course about 3 or 4 years ago. They did some bunkering changes. I'm not really perverse in exactly what they did, but they can get those greens at 12, 13 right there at Scioto Country Club. That's probably where they're going to stay, even though Shinnecock was running about 10 or 11. Only that slow for a U.S. Open considered because of the slopes of the greens. They couldn't make it any faster and potential winds coming up. So they'll keep them probably around 12, 13, and just depends on the weather. If you get some rain, they'll dry them out a little bit. So it's going to play like a regular U.S. Open that you normally see, but you'll be playing the Senior Open for sure.
One more quick thing here, Gerb. I know, like when these Senior Open, the senior players, Champions Tour guys, like something like this, when they come to Columbus to compete and they have their caddy, do they pay their caddy's travel expenses, or is the caddy responsible for his own?
The caddy would be responsible. They're a union now, the caddies.
Okay.
So they have to get paid. They have to get paid. Now, it's a little bit different on the Champions Tour. I don't really know how it works with those guys. Those guys, they're on golf carts, and, the guys are carrying the bag, so the responsibilities are a little bit different. But the player kind of dictates that. I don't think I think the players these days just pay the caddies a certain fee, and then they give them a bonus on top of that, and then let the caddies take out all their expenses. And, some guys, they might have wanted to fly Spirit when Spirit was around. Who knows? You don't want to dictate that. But, those caddies are a union now. They're making plenty good money. But I think a lot of those guys, though, if you wait, the qualifiers playing in the Senior Open, they're going to hire some of those local caddies there at Scioto, and whatever they pay them, it's kind of on them because they're not in the union. So, as an experienced guy, I would go in having your own, but a guy that's just playing the Senior Open might get a local caddy because there's some pretty good ones there at Scioto Country Club.
Good to know, because next year it's in Oklahoma. I might need you to front my plane fare for when I'm caddying for you out there in Oklahoma.
Sure. Yeah, whatever works for you. Yeah, sure.
All right, sure. Hey, look, Tim asked me what happened with you with Scioto this year, and I said he's not doing it this year. And so, but I looked at the next year's June 28th to July 4th in Edmond, Oklahoma. I think that you should go for it and have me caddy.
Well, I really haven't had the heart to tell you, but I put in my application for the U.S. Senior Open, and they ask you when you put your application is, are you hiring a caddy? And I said yes. I made the mistake of putting Tito Sidoff in there, and I know ISIS is running pretty firm up there, so I got a real bad rejection when it came to my U.S. Open Senior Open qualifier because I put Tito on there, and it kind of put up a couple of red flags. So I would be careful when you're around the streets there in Columbus.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Gerb. Man, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.
Talk to you guys next week. Thanks.
That was at Jay Gerber, PGA Pro, John Gerber, golf betting expert from the Rough podcast on Fantasy Sports, where you can catch him. That felt personal. I think that he.
What do you mean? It was personal.
I know, but it got too personal. He should have just said. Yeah. It seemed like he took it to a level he didn't have.
I think he didn't try to qualify for the U.S. Open because you were going to.
That could be
his caddy. Well, just like I'm trying to be Gary Pettit's caddy.
Oh yeah.
For this whatever Central Ohio, some kind of like big tournament they have here in Central Ohio every year. The guy who works in the basically helps run the SID office at Ohio State, and I just keep asking him every day, have you practiced today? What did you practice? And he's busier than dealing with new regime in town and all that kind of stuff.
I've heard he's a great golfer.
Dude, he and I have been part of, winning 2 scrambles together.
Have you really?
Oh, yeah. And, when I go recruiting when it comes to scrambles.
That's the best thing to do. You got to do that.
But he hits the ball long and straight and knows how to play golf. Oh. That's key for a scrambler.
Key. Yep, that's right. So thank you to John Gerber for joining us there on the Bryant Heating and Cooling System Fan Gas Hotline. Again, at Jay Gerber PGA Pro. What we love about him is that he puts his picks out there and then tells you exactly how he does so you can see for yourself. And he positive money every year. So if you stick with it. So coming up next, we'll wrap things up here on Fan Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Big Voice Guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Now at Kroger, your points add up to more ways to save every trip. Use them your way to take dollars off groceries at checkout or save at the pump. You can even save up to $35 on your next fill-up. Same points, more choices. And with low prices on fresh, quality food, plus digital and personalized offers tailored to how you shop, your dollar goes further. Redeem your points online or in the app. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site or store for details.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with 0 experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Round of 32. Here we go. Scotty Vegas here, and I'm getting chills just thinking about the game on Wednesday night. The best place to cheer on Team USA is the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. We'll have contests. People go crazy for the coin toss tournament. Prizes to give away. Watch the game on the best screen in Columbus. Oh, I'm going for a juicy Sportsbook steak during the game. See you Wednesday at 8 at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Save big on landscaping projects at Menards. Transform your outdoor living space with easy, no-cut block projects. From fire pits and grill stations to planters and fountains. We offer hundreds of free project plans that are easy to build with no block cutting required. Check out our huge selection of concrete landscaping block at Menards. And view our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Your child's oral health milestones matter. By age 1, see a pediatric dentist to establish good oral health habits. At 7, see an orthodontist to check your child's bite, teeth, and jaws. Around 15, visit an oral and maxillofacial surgeon to have your child's wisdom teeth examined. Remember, milestones met, Healthy Teeth Set. Visit milestonesmet.org.
I'm Brianna Albizu, traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. Columbus is quickly becoming my home, and this community has welcomed me with open arms. My mission is simple, to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Whether it's helping you beat the slowdown on 270 or giving you detours around major construction, we've got you covered. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Summer's hot, but the day's still moving. Good thing Tim Hortons does cold so you can keep moving too. The morning commute, cool it down and keep it moving with a Tim Hortons iced coffee. Running errands in the afternoon heat, a blackberry citrus refresher can keep things cool while you get back to it. Picking up the kids from camp? Sounds like a s'mores ice cap could make the car line a whole lot cooler. Tim's does cold so you can refresh, recharge, and take full advantage of all that summer has to offer. Good thing Tim's does cold.
Blackberry citrus refresher contains a blend of juices from concentrate with sugar and other ingredients. Copyright Tim Hortons USA Inc.
There's this thing repair people do nowadays.
Mappo's Plumbing. Sure, we do have a dispatch fee. It's $1 zillion.
A dispatch fee, a trip charge, going out to your house bill.
Bippity Bing Bong Electrical. Our trip charge is a nice new car.
But not Apex Pros, the pros who knows. When you call Apex for repairs on your AC, plumbing, or electric, there's no dispatch fee.
Thank you for calling Apex Pros. Why would we? Kinda silly to ask for money before we do anything, isn't it?
We give you an upfront price only after we know what's really going on. We think it's the right thing to do, instead of...
Slappy's AC, electric, plumbing, dry cleaning, haberdashery, and chiropractic. Of course we charge to come out. $1 kajillion, 3 diamond rings, and 2 exotic pets.
Apex Pros. Never a dispatch fee. Examples of competitive rates may have been slightly exaggerated.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Common Man and Timmy.
This is what happens when you're married a certain amount of time. You do things out of spite.
I'm going to wear them harder and faster.
I am.
And thicker.
Common Man and Timmy Afternoons on the Fan is sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company. The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
During weekend programming, pants are optional.
Look at my butt!
However, leather chairs may have been a bad choice. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Fan Sports Saturday, final segment of the program. I will say this, Tim, and it normally happens when I work with you or hang out with you or whatever. You make me look bad.
What?
You make me look bad.
Okay.
Because I work with Reeser usually.
We're not looking in mirrors, you know.
I'm just, no, listen, I usually work with Reeser on this show. And I'm over there where you're sitting. Reeser's here. Reeser does a show sheet and everything. And I rarely contribute anything. And you lined up 3 of the guests today. And you took the lead on the interviews with these. I'm telling you right now, it makes my job easier, but it makes me think I'm a slug when I work with Reeser now. Now, it's not going to, I don't feel enough like a slug that I'm going to change the way I do it. I'm just saying it does force me to look in the mirror.
Sounds like another Animal Life story, an Animal Life movie.
It's
The Slug.
The Slug.
Yeah.
But we got Tony Gerdeman on earlier today. We got Aaron Portzeline on, Dylan Davis, John Gerber all joined us. Great guests. Lots to talk about with Ohio State football, the Jackets, and golf. U.S. Senior Open again is teeing off this week over there at Sauter Country Club in Upper Arlington.
This coming week, yeah.
This coming week, I guess you would say, yeah.
And I'm not going to be out there.
Why aren't you going out there?
I might go out there for a day, and people, because I volunteered the last 5 years, the last 5 U.S. Opens,
right?
Because that's going to places I've never been,
right?
And I like to study the golf courses. I've said that before, and watch the golf. But Brandon Beam put it best, man. Host of the Buckeye Show. Golf is much more enjoyable to watch on television.
Yeah, it's true. That's fair.
Cameras on every hole, etc. And I'm not a big fan of walking around anywhere when it's 97 degrees.
That part might also impede my choices.
That might impede the crowd, too. And then on top of that, my son and his family, my older son and his family, Kyle, and my grandsons, Owen and Charlie, and then my granddaughter, Teddy. She's so damn cute. It's unbelievable. She's like 5 months old now. I think 5. But bottom line is, as they pointed out, the 4th of July celebration in Upper Arlington is a big deal.
Especially 250 now. It's going to be a big one also. You know what I mean? It's going to be a big,
So they're going to be clashes with that and everything. And I guess, you park clearly off site when you go to the Scioto. You got to take the shuttle buses and stuff, which is okay. But these guys are still really good golfers, man.
Sure.
I mean, take nothing away from them. They're probably not playing Scioto from the tips, I would think. They have a special little distance where they play. Kind of like the LPGA when they play courses.
Right.
But all these guys are damn good. And like Gerb's pointed out, you lean toward the young guys, right?
50.
Yeah, because they can still walk and talk the game. But and this is one of those few rounds they have to play or terms they have to play every year where they don't get to use a cart. So that's a big deal for the old guys. I'm telling you, just walking a golf course, you know this.
Yeah.
That's a 3.5-4 mile walk.
It's a lot of walking around. That's right. Yeah. Unless you just park your butt on one hole and watch people coming through. But I want to head out there just because I've never been to a U.S. senior. I don't know. I went to a senior event, champions event a long time ago in Arizona when Nicholas was still playing. I can't remember which one it was called back then. But I was out there with Damon's Restaurant. Tells you how long ago. It was like 20 years ago, at least 25 years ago, maybe, when I was out there. And I remember watching Nicholas there, and I think Hale Irwin almost hit me with a golf cart when they had a golf cart. We used to go into one of the holes, but I think they allowed that then. But anyway, nonetheless.
Memory, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You give me yours.
Well, I mean, 86, I had to help covered for the Dispatch, and Arnold Palmer was still playing.
Right.
I've told the story before, but I was assigned to do a story on Arnold Palmer I think it was after the first round. He had a decent round, if I remember correctly. I remember the scores and stuff, but I shook hands with him as he came out of the scoring area, and I said, Arnold, my name's Tim May. I'm with the Columbus Dispatch. I was wondering if I could just get you for just a couple of minutes. And he goes, yeah, Tim, absolutely. But I've got to deal with he said, deal with my fans first. And I turn around, there's like 100 people, if not 5, standing there waiting for the Arnold Palmer famous autograph, et cetera. And I'll go, oh, my goodness. And I stood there. He's not going to want to talk to me after we're done, and then he turns around and he goes, Tim, right? And I go, yeah. He goes, what can I do for you? We stood there for 20 minutes.
That's amazing.
And I've always said this. That's why Arnold Palmer was Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
That's what made him famous. That's what made him famous for so many, because he took the time.
Yeah.
And some of the guys on tour still are doing that. Scheffler takes the time to a certain extent. Rory takes the time to a certain extent. Tommy Fleetwood definitely does. I mean, some guys get it, that you make a friend, you take the time, and you've made a fan for life.
You can make a huge impact.
Yeah. I like how Scheffler signs, a lot of times just signs for the little guys, not the big guys.
Yeah, that's the way it should be, really.
Remember LeBron James? He used to, in high school, he would come out. Tom Withers told me the story one time. He went to a high school game. LeBron was such a big superstar even in high school. He would come out after dressing, after a game, and sit at the scorer's table. And he goes, all right, big people over here, big little people over here.
Yeah.
And he signed every little people's autographs.
Right.
Yeah. The little kids. Yeah. He got it even then.
Yeah, sure.
So, by the way, that banging you heard during the Ross Bjork thing, that was him pounding the table.
Okay, I was going to say, I was hoping that's what it was.
Yeah.
That emphasis. Thanks for joining us here on Fan Sports Saturday. We appreciate it. I'm Tito, Jeff that off, Tim May. Thank you, Nate. And I'm not back next week, but maybe you are. I don't know if we'll do it.
We'll see what happens.
That's next.
T-Bone and Tyvis are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday